one game to decide the championship at the Women's College World Series. The Michigan Wolverines and UCLA Bruins have split the series to force a Game 3. Who can finish the journey? Who will become a champion?
And show on me everything you got. I know you're scared, but it's time for you to stop. You gotta take that step in your heart, just let it make sound.
UCLA appeared to be on its way to a sweep, but then came Becky Marks to the plate. Her two-run homer in the fifth inning tied the game. Jessica Merchant tacked on two more with a double, and Michigan would not look back. The Wolverines and the Bruins to crown a champion. 7 times Michigan has come to the series. 7 times they've gone home empty-handed. They got closer to an elusive title last night with a Becky Marks long ball and a clutch hit from Jessica Merchant. UCLA will try and put that behind them. It's a new day and a new focus for the Bruins as it's down to one game for the championship. UCLA and Michigan at the Women's College World Series. Tonight's game is also available in ESPN HD. We are at Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City for the championship game. The top seed Wolverines of Michigan and the 7 seed Bruins of UCLA. In game 1 of the series, the Bruins, with a 5-run 6th inning, won it 5-0. And then in game 2, trailing by a couple runs, Michigan rallied to win it 5-2 to even up the series. UCLA going for its 11th NCAA championship. It would be the first ever for Michigan. Hi, I'm Beth Mullins along with Lisa Fernandez and Stacy Newman. And Lisa, just as we saw in games 1 and 2, a pitching matchup of Jelly Selden and Jenny Ritter.
Both these players are the key for their respective ball clubs. Angelica Selden, the key for her, the test is really her inexperience. Is she going to be able to bounce back from the tough defeat that she suffered yesterday from Michigan? On the other side, you have Jenny Ritter, and her question mark is her conditioning. Is she going to be able to handle the stress and the strain of pitching her 5th game in these last 4 days? And for them to be successful, both of these pitchers are going to have to come through.
And speaking of stress, there's plenty of it for all parties involved, Stacy. Handling that kind of pressure will be critical because this is the biggest day of their career.
Well, all of these athletes woke up this morning really thinking about the preparation that came to this moment in time. There's early mornings, there's lots of practices, there's blood, sweat, and tears. And this morning, when you wake up on championship morning, you know what all that was for. It's for this moment in time, the chance to walk away with a national championship.
Michigan's in the championship game for the first time, hoping all signs point to a title. UCLA is all about winning championships. They've won the last 2, and they want one more. Welcome back to the Women's College World Series championship game, Michigan and UCLA. And let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Wolverines.
My name is Tiffany Haas. I'm from Orange County, California, and I'm studying to be an elementary school teacher.
Hi, my name is Alessandra Giampolo, and I'm from Pasadena, California, and my hero is my sister, Jen.
I'm Jessica Merchant from Wayland, Michigan, and I love Coke and Cherry Slurpees.
I'm Samantha Finlay from Lockport, Illinois, and my sister always calls me and tells me to play like there's no tomorrow.
My name is Nicole Motika, and I'm from Sarasota, Florida, but my teammates call me Tiki.
My name is Grace Lotelle, and I'm from Cerro Vista, Arizona. My full name is Pofonga Fetalai Ituau Alatau Lotelle.
My name is Stephanie Burkott. I'm from Worcester, Ohio, and my teammates call me Fat Donut.
My name is Becky Marks. I'm from Stevensville, Michigan, and my hero is my dad.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Millian. I'm from Grand Lake, Michigan. And if I could eat ice cream for every meal, I would, but Hutch won't let me.
And for the Wolverines, some special correspondence arrived just moments ago. For more on that, here's Holly Rowe.
Well, the Michigan Wolverines are looking for their first national championship in women's softball, and they are gathering fans as they continue. Today, they got a special letter faxed to them from Lloyd Carr, the football coach at the University of Michigan. He said that they have been watching their progress, and he is completely thrilled and proud of how this team is representing Michigan. He says that he's expecting them to bring home a national championship. Not just Lloyd, but entire coaching staff from the football office has signed this letter. The ladies are thrilled by it, that their teammates back at Michigan are taking notice of their success here. Lloyd Carr is a longtime supporter of women's sports. He awards a scholarship annually to a woman in the athletic department, and in the past, there have been some softball recipients. So the Wolverines gathering fans from their campus who are here supporting them tonight.
Well, Holly, Coach Hutch and Coach Carr have a very good relationship in Ann Arbor. Carroll has been there for 21 seasons, over 900 wins. That's more than any other coach in any sport in Michigan history. And the Wolverines, for the third day in a row, will be facing Angelica Jelly Selden, the freshman looking to become the second rookie ever to win a championship game. 29-13 on the season, losing for the first time here at this Women's College World Series last night.
And that's going to be the test for Angelica. And can she bounce back? Being a freshman, not really having the experience of knowing what it takes, but she's got a great coaching staff and she's got a great team that's going to rally behind her.
UCLA took game 1, Michigan game 2, and it's game 3 to decide the championship. Now the first pitch to Tiffany Haas, inside for a ball. Haas, the junior from Santa Ana, California, hasn't missed a start in the last 2 years for this Michigan team. She's 3 for 18 so far in the series, scored a run last night. And in both these games, it's really been one big inning that has decided it, and it's really been keyed off of one mistake that a team has been able to jump on.
Well, and that's the game of softball. It's the first one to make the mistake is usually the team that's going to end up on the short end. And in this new format, with it being a 3-game series, these pitchers are going to have to continue to reinvent themselves so that they can stay one step ahead of these hitters.
1-2 now, the count to Haas. The Wolverines have been ranked #1 in the country since early April. It's the first time ever that a team from east of the Mississippi has come into this World Series as the #1 seed. No school from the Eastern time zone has ever won the national championship. Well, the Wolverines looking to make some history. And Selden starts out with a strikeout for UCLA.
From Angelica, that's what you're going to see. Predominantly, her best pitch is a flip drop. It's a ball that's going to break down and into a right-handed hitter, away from a left-handed hitter, and there you can see it. That's going to be her key. Knowing that these Michigan hitters have seen it for the last 2 days, it's going to be up to Angelica to not just be able to throw that, but to add in some of her other pitches to keep them off.
That'll bring up Alessandra Giampaolo. Now, Jelly has had 11 strikeouts in game 1, then 12 strikeouts in game 2. Giampaolo, the freshman from Pasadena, 4 of 19 at the Women's College World Series.
When both Angelica Selden and Jenny Ritter can hang their hat on those first 2 games coming down to 1 inning. It wasn't that either UCLA or Michigan really clubbed up on them innings 1 through 7, but it was one big inning, a couple errors in each of those opportunities, and the respective teams took full advantage.
0-2 to Giampaolo. I think the thinking would be, Stacy, would be that the hitters would have a bit of an advantage tonight, having seen a pitcher now 2 nights in a row.
Well, you'd like to think that hitters, the more you see a pitcher, the more you get to know them. These 2 teams, there's no mystery between them anymore, and the same pitchers have been in the circle. So these hitters should know what to look for up there.
And that was one thing that Bonnie Thal, the assistant coach over at Michigan, had commented earlier in talking with her, was she thought that this was going to be a high-scoring game. She felt that both pitchers had shown some signs of fatigue in yesterday's game, and also the hitters have gotten 2 games worth of looks. These batters are going on possibly their 10th at bat, or their 7th or 8th at bat off of these pitchers.
One-two to Giampaolo. Legaspi calling for it at short. Jody Legaspi with the catch, 2 away. The history at the NCAA tournament for these 2 programs, drastically different. As you'll note down at the bottom, 10 championships for UCLA, none for Michigan. The Bruins have won the last 2 in a row, looking to match a feat set by the UCLA Bruin clubs in 88, 89, and 90. That's the only 3-peat in the 23-year history of this tournament. And now it's the senior Jessica Merchant who had a clutch 2-run double in that big 5th inning last night for Michigan. should point out too, Lisa, it's not uncommon for a pitcher to throw 3 days in a row, but it is also important to note that they've been playing since last Thursday, so this is the tail end of a long week for these two.
Well, the stress isn't going to be on their shoulder or elbow as opposed to what you might see in baseball. It's really going to be on their legs and their forearms. That's what generates the power in this motion. The arm throwing underhand is a natural motion, so it doesn't take as much of the brunt of the stress as you would think it does. A lot of the pitchers will feel some fatigue in that bicep because you can see the follow through. There is a lot of pulling up or turning over with these pitches. So really that's where conditioning comes into play. What did these players do throughout the season, or these pitchers, to prepare them for this moment in time? And talking with Coach Hutchinson, or excuse me, Coach Hutch, she had talked about Jenny Ritter and the fact that she trained throughout the season all the way up to the regionals, running and doing the things cardio-wise to get her legs strong for today.
1-2 to Merchant, fouled away. Michigan 64-7 this year, establishing a new school record for victories. 102 home runs, more than doubled the previous high output for a single season, as they went on to win the Big Ten regular season and tournament championships en route to the series. And another strikeout for Selden, 2 in the top of the first for Jelly. No score for the Wolverines. Selden's off to a good start for the Bruin Bats. Coming up. Michigan scoreless in the top of the first. UCLA coming up. Let's take a closer look at the Bruins starting lineup.
Hi, I'm Andrea Duran, and I'm from Selma, California.
My name's Tara Henry, and I'm from Orange, California.
Hi, my name's Caitlin Bainey, and I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Emily Zappletosh from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Hi, my name's Jody Legaspi, and I'm from Garden Grove, California.
Hi, I'm Kristen Denman, and I'm from Yorba Linda, California.
Hi, I'm Krista Colburn. I'm from Mukilteo, Washington.
Hi, I'm Lisa Dodd from San Diego, California.
Hi, I'm Ashley Herrera from Canyon Country, California.
And for the Bruins, they come in 40-19 on the season. A 5th place finish in the Pac-10 Conference. They struggled during the regular season, but Sue Enquist says that has toughened them up for this moment against Jenny Ritter in the circle for the University of Michigan. 37-4, establishing a new school record for single season wins. She's 4-2 so far in the Women's College World Series. And the top of the order, and Andrea Duran. Duran had a run-scoring triple last night, her 8th of the season. Good speed in the leadoff spot. Out of Selma, California. A player whose batting average has improved every year she's been at UCLA. Hit just .281 as a freshman. And that off her foot. So Duran gets hit by a pitch for the 2nd time in this championship series.
Well, and that last hit by pitch, which occurred in game 1 versus these two teams, was critical. That leadoff hit by pitch, this one, no doubt about that pitch, hitting her in the left ankle. But again, going back to that first hit by pitch, was really an engine starter for UCLA, and they took full advantage. That was their big inning in game 1, and right off the bat, UCLA would like to take advantage of this.
That led to a 5-run 6th inning for the Bruins. Sacrifice attempt is popped up, and Becky Marks has it, 1 down. Let's check in now with Holly Rowe.
Well, I checked in with Caitlin Bainey of UCLA after their loss last night, and I asked her how would they respond. She said, look, 6 weeks ago, this team was in the gutter. They were coming off 4 straight losses in Pac-10 play and finished just 5th in the conference. She said the roller coaster of a ride this season has prepared us to bounce back from anything. She thinks the resiliency of this team will serve them well tonight.
Well, they have definitely seen it all, Holly. If you toss out the NCAA sanctioned 1998 season, this is the fewest wins that UCLA has had in nearly 20 years, but that tough schedule, Sue Enquist really credits to the fact that they're here and they're still alive in this tournament.
Well, they've been in the, as Caitlin Beatty says herself, been in the gutter for a good part of the season, and a team that's really defying everybody's expectations in standing here at this point in the season.
Caitlin is the junior from Scottsdale, Arizona, has won national championships in both her freshman and sophomore seasons. Alongside her best friend, Emily Zaplatosh, who was her roommate. They grew up together in Scottsdale. Also side by side in the batting order. And Haas has it at second, makes the play to first, 2 down as Duran scoots over to second. For Sue Enquist, 3 decades at UCLA. She has been a part of all of the Bruin national championships, either as a player, an assistant coach, or a head coach. And was there for the 88, 89, and 90 seasons. The only three-peat in tournament history. Trying to match that tonight. She was telling us a few days ago, it's the team that can set aside all the drama and the emotion that will have the advantage. And that's kind of what she stresses to her teams in the postseason, as it looks like they're going to go ahead and give Zaplatosh first base and make somebody else beat them. Emily is 4 for 12 on the series. Jody Legaspi 3 for 12 with a couple of RBI. But Zaplatosh has doubled in each of the first 2 games off of Ritter.
Well, and that's, to me, I like that call. I think, like you mentioned, Beth, Zaplatosh has been hot. Now, frankly, Legaspi's been pretty hot herself. But right now, more importantly, it's getting that force out. It just creates, it opens up some more opportunities for the defense and put a little more pressure on Legaspi. We saw last night Zaplatosh have some really quality at-bats. Also a couple of big hits in the first few games against, a couple games against Michigan. So I think you challenge Legaspi and see if she can keep her rhythm going.
Sophomore from Garden Grove, California.
It's just an interesting call by Michigan having it be so early in the game. I would think that in doing something like that, they might have thrown around Emily Zaplatosh and kind of did something of an unintentional, intentional walk. Knowing how good Ritter is with throwing to all different planes, it's just interesting to see they went that route.
Legaspi lays off it upstairs, 1-1 the count. So the first strategic move of the series, and Carol Hutchins elects to put Zaplatosh on board. Going inside. 2-1 at 66 miles per hour. So Ritter starts out with right around the same velocity that we've seen from her in games 1 and 2.
But one thing Ritter thus far is you can see she's struggling a little bit in being around the zone. Typically known to be more of a location type pitcher, hitting her spots. That's kind of her key, staying ahead of the hitters. She's hit one, she's fallen behind on the other. The walk to Zaplatosh, and then obviously now to Jody Legaspi having a 2-1 count. This is a great hitter's count right here for Jody. She does not want to get behind Jody 3-1 and potentially walk her to load the bases.
Bruins looking for a big inning here in the bottom of the first.
The one thing that Jenny Ritter has in her favor that can put a hitter on defense is that change, and that's the equalizer.
Legaspi rips it right to Grace Lutelli at third. Side is retired. The strategy pays off for Michigan with the intentional walk to Zaplatosh as Legaspi lines out, 2 left on, no score, 1 complete. Welcome back to the Women's College World Series. It's the championship game. UCLA and Michigan all tied up at 1 game apiece, forcing this game 3 tonight. And we are scoreless as we move to the top of the second. UCLA in white, Michigan in blue. Selden retired the Wolverines in order in the top of the first, so it's 4, 5, and 6 coming around. Samantha Finlay will start things off. Freshman from Lockport, Illinois. 20 home runs on the season, second on the team to Merchant.
Finlay doing a right-handed version of a slap, showing the barrel out in front. Basically, that's done when there's no one on base so that the hitter can have a better view of the pitcher, and also it helps to shorten up their swing.
Chopper to Legaspi, who charges. In time at first, one away.
Well, Jody Legaspi here takes the short hop, and Finlay with good speed makes it fairly close down to first base, but the key to that play was charging the ball. If she let the ball play her, that would have been a more difficult hop, but she moves in on it and cuts it off at the chase.
That brings up Nicole Motika. She had a hit off of Jelly in her first appearance in game 1, but has not fared well since. She's struck out 6 times in a row. Nicole, the senior from Sarasota.
And in talking with the Michigan coaches earlier today, they said the key was for Motika and Lutelli to cut down on their strikeouts. They want to make sure they put the ball in play. And for their 7, 8, 9 hitters, they were also the key to start some action. And this is the part of the order that Michigan needs to count on.
64 miles an hour on the strike from Jelly, 1-2 the count.
Well, the question of how to cut down on strikeouts, I think first and foremost, Motika in particular and the Michigan hitters in general were swinging at some pitches outside of the zone, and that was really important, is to, again, to swing at good pitches. You're not going to have success against balls.
That one misses away, 2-2 the count. And Wolverine making an appearance here in the championship series. Feisty little creature. Trying to help Michigan to its first softball national championship, and Motika again a strikeout victim for the 7th time in a row against Selden. That's Jelly's 3rd tonight.
Here you can see Selden going at Motika with the curveball, and that's something that Jelly possesses. She has a little bit of everything. You'll see the flip drop into the righties. You'll see there a curveball away from the righties. She'll go up in the zone. She can go down in the zone, and something that you should see a lot in this game is her changeup.
Grace Lutelli steps in, the junior from Sierra Vista, Arizona, on all Big Ten selection this year. Enjoying the best season of her career with highs in home runs and runs batted in this season. 3 for 21 thus far at the Women's College World Series, which started back on Thursday. They played through the double elimination portion of the tournament. And Michigan and UCLA, the 2 left standing, meeting in this best-of-3 championship series. The Bruins winning game 1 on Monday night, 5-zip. Michigan coming back last night, erasing a 2-run deficit to win it 5-2. And the Wolverines hoping that the title run for UCLA does end at 2. Bruins looking for their 3rd in a row. Both of those coming behind the arm of Kira Garrell, who pitched the Bruins to the last 2 titles, and now Selden trying to match it in her freshman year. Lutelli lets that one by. Full count. She has only walked 2 batters the entire Women's College World Series, both of those coming last night. In 35 innings of work. We're at the Women's College World Series. It's the championship game, top-seeded Michigan and the 7-seed UCLA from Hall of Fame Stadium here in Oklahoma City. Michigan looking for its first ever national crown. The Bruins have won the last 2 in a row and looking for the 11th NCAA championship in school history. see the postseason numbers. 20 trips to the Women's College World Series for UCLA. The 10 NCAA championships. They also won an AIAW championship when Sue Enquist was a player on the Bruin side, as Lutelli draws the 2-out walk.
Well, that was a well-earned base on balls for Grace Lutelli. She battled, got behind the count a little bit and fouled some pitches off and was able to get herself on base. And, you know, again, we've seen little things, whether it be a walk, a hit by pitch, an error. And with 2 outs, this is when Michigan is at its best. An offense that does a lot of damage with 2 outs on the board.
Stephanie Burkaw in the 7th spot in the order, but she is 6 for 17 so far in the series, including a home run in their win against Tennessee that propelled them into this championship series.
And that's what it takes. It's not always the go-tos that come through when it comes to championship play. It's really the unexpected, because everybody focuses on those go-tos.
Yeah, they've hit 2 home runs here at the series, and it's been the 7 and 8 batters in the order. They've got some depth when it comes to hitting the long ball.
And that's common. You will see that throwing around somebody to get to the next batter, and that's when they have a chance to step up, and the teams that win are that have those players that do.
And this is a good opportunity here for Michigan to create some havoc. They've got 2 outs. They've got Lutelli at first base, and they've got a favorable count to Burkaw here with a 2-1. Look for them to put their runners in, or the runner in motion.
Burkaw lifts it out to left. Ashley Herrera is under it, and the side is retired. A walk, 1 left on. We move to the bottom of the 2nd. When we come back, Jenny Ritter in the circle for the Wolverines. We'll get to know her a little bit better. Scoreless in the championship game of the Women's College World Series as we move to the bottom of the 2nd. She's enjoying the best season a Michigan pitcher has ever had. Let's get to know Jenny Ritter.
My name is Jenny Ritter. I'm from Dexter, Michigan. I'm a junior pitcher, and my nicknames are JR and Rit. Softball's not the only thing I play. I also play the violin. I started in 5th grade. My favorite band is Dave Matthews Band, and my favorite TV show is MacGyver. He can build a bomb out of bubble gum and a paperclip.
And Ritter, a school record 37 wins this year, including 4 here at the Women's College World Series. Comes from a family of Wolverines. Her sister Megan played softball at Michigan. Her dad is a baseball player at Michigan. As Million tracks it down, Deadman is retired 1 down. It's 6, 7, and 8 in the order for the Bruins, and here's Holly Rowe.
Well, Beth, Jenny Ritter's season is all the more remarkable because last year here at the World Series, she wasn't even the #1 pitcher for Michigan. The coaches say her biggest improvement this year has been mentally, knowing that she's good enough. One of the tools she uses to keep herself mentally focused is writing some sayings inside of her glove that she's using tonight. They say presence, be the best, do it now, and then she writes her number, her father's number, number 29, and FTAA, that's an acronym for a private saying she has with her dad to keep her focused.
Thank you, Holly. Facing Caitlin Bainey, or Krista Colburn now. There are the words that she refers to during the course of the game. Her dad, John, instrumental in her upbringing as a pitcher, used to catch for her. He's got the blisters and the calluses to show for it, too. Catching those 65-mile-an-hour pitches for his daughter.
The permanent nerve damage that us catchers have.
A story he related to Holly Rowe earlier this week. Jenny, a first-team All-American. She was a finalist for National Player of the Year, the award won by Kat Osterman of Texas as Lutelli makes the play to first, 2 down.
And you'll see a lot of athletes that'll have little sayings or little things that'll help them keep focus. You'll have hitters that have things written in their helmets. You'll have players that have things written on their tape around their arm or so forth. And whatever it takes for you to have that confidence, that's what it's all about. A lot of this game is not just what you can do physically, but really what you do mentally, and the frame of mind that you are in mentally is what's going to allow you to be as successful as you can be.
Well, and those athletes that are able to keep that focus, I mean, sports psychology is, to me, is like the final frontier. I mean, there's a lot of great physical athletes, but those athletes that can stay mentally tough and strong in adverse situations, a la the championship game of the Women's College World Series, are the ones that can be considered the greats.
Lisa Dodd stepping in. Well, you both have won national championships. You both won Olympic gold medals. Do you have a saying that you use in your glove or something that you refer to often, Lisa?
I don't have anything particular I've written in my glove, but it could be a bracelet. At one time for the 1996 Olympics, it was kind of interesting that
Dodd launches that one deep. Back and gone. Lisa Dodd, the solo home run off of Ritter in the bottom of the second. And UCLA grabs the 1-0 lead.
Lisa Dodd, a player for UCLA that has not had the kind of offensive season that she would have liked to, but comes up big here in the championship game at the Women's College World Series. And the Jenny Ritter rise ball is up in the zone. It's not a terrible pitch, but it's over the heart of the plate, and that's a difference. Not only do you want to get the height, but you also want to get the corner. And that home run is just out of the reach of Million. And of course, Jenny Ritter disappointed because she knows UCLA now has a little momentum early in this ball game.
Second home run the Bruins have hit off of Ritter in the last 2 nights. Caitlin Bainey got one yesterday, and now Dodd with her 7th home run of the season.
And this is where you go game plan against game plan. You can see the hitters on the UCLA team have a place in the box that they are going to. They are going to be in the deepest part of the box, as close to the plate as they can be. And what they are planning on doing is they're going to force Jenny Ritter to be able to jam them or try and go inside. But at the same time, the reason why they are so close to the plate is they want to protect that curveball. They respect the fact that Jenny Ritter can throw to both sides in the plate. So what they've planned on doing is get in as close as they can, and they want to try and not only be able to protect for the outside, but get Jenny Ritter to throw in and make her throw it over the plate. And thus far, their plan has worked.
Ashley Herrera in the 9 spot. Looks to lay down the bunt, foul ball.
And getting back to talking about the words in the glove and the luck charm, I got a letter from a fan, and in it was a red, white, and blue bracelet. And she said, this will bring you the best of luck, you know, throughout the Olympics. And this was in Atlanta, and I'm, well, dang, if I get that, I'm wearing it. So I had that bracelet on from when I got it in March until we competed in July or August, and we ended up winning the gold medal. And the weirdest part about it is I went to eat at the Hard Rock Cafe with the rest of the team, and the little girl was there.
Wow.
And she said, oh my God, can I have your autograph? And I said, sure. And she goes, you have the bracelet on. And I thought, what are the chances that I get a fan mail? And here's the little girl that sent it to me. And so, you know, as athletes, you do that. If anything says good luck, you go with it.
Plenty of superstitions. One and 2, the count to Herrera. And Lisa Dodd with the home run. The sophomore from San Diego, she's been a winner her whole life. She won 3 state softball championships, a couple of state soccer titles, and now is looking for 3 national championships in a row with the Bruins as Herrera is retired. We'll hear from Sue Inquest when we come back. The coach of the Bruins likes what she saw just a moment ago off the bat of Lisa Dodd. One 0 UCLA, the lead over Michigan as we move to the top of the 3rd. Holly Rowe now has Bruin head coach Sue Inquest.
Coach Inquist, you said last night whatever team got caught up in the drama of this last game would lose. How is the demeanor of your team so far?
Well, I just wanted to make sure that my club didn't get too excitable today. I feel like we're in a good place. We're calm, we're confident, and it's just a matter of keeping our tempo on defense and making good choices at the plate.
Lisa Dodd expected to be your starter in the circle this year. She wasn't, but how has she continued to contribute to this team?
Oh, Lisa Dodd's a team player. She's going to do whatever it takes for this club to be able to win ball games, and she's settled in at first base. She's a great defender over there, and you can see in postseason she's been clutch for us at the plate.
All right, congratulations on the home run. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
Thank you, Holly. Dodd delivering the home run for UCLA in the bottom of the second as we go to the top of the third. It's 8-9 and then the top of the order. And Becky Marks, who hit the home run for Michigan last night, will start things off for the Maize and Blue. Marks, the junior from St. Joseph, Michigan. And watch the eyes on this home run. She never even follows it out.
Well, she never looks at the ball as it heads out. She watches contact point and then heads to first base. This is a team that's focused a lot on their visual training and definitely paid off in that big bomb last night.
They had been stymied by Selden through game one and through the first 4 innings last night, and you got the sense, Lisa, that all they needed was that one hit to awaken those bats, and they have certainly played with a lot more confidence at the plate since then.
Michigan is a potent team. They wouldn't have had 100 RBIs on the season if they weren't capable, and that's the one thing that you have to worry about is they may be, you know, stuck for innings 1 through 6, but if they've got a chance, they've got the sticks that can make the difference in the game.
0-2 to Marks. And that one just fouled down the left field line. Reminder coming up at the bottom of the hour, we will be sending you to a Sports Center 30 at 30 update.
You can see the cut right there that Marks took on that flip drop. Angelica had threw 2 of them previously on that one. She was able to get a hold of it. One thing that, talking to the UCLA coach, is Angelica was going to have to utilize her changeup if she was going to be able to keep these Michigan hitters off. They swing their sticks. They've had the timing of Jelly from yesterday and bringing it on today.
Selden gets the strikeout, 1 down. For more information on the NCAA Women's College World Series, including updated stats, box scores, and schedule, go to ncaasports.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships.
Right now, Angelica Selden has a little bit of a pattern going, throwing inside to the right-handed Michigan hitters and then busting them with a curveball or something on the outside part of the plate. And that's, right now, has been the game plan. Now the question is, will Michigan adjust to that? Will they go back in their dugout, look at their books, and pick up on that pattern? Again, it's kind of been sort of obvious, so you'd like to think that they're going to pick up on that at some point.
Million with the drag, and Dodd makes the play to Bainey, covering at first base, 2 down.
And Rebecca Million here shows bunt, then slaps, and then goes ahead and does a little bit of a push bunt, trying to punch it through the UCLA defense. Lisa Dodd right there to make the play. And Michigan had been successful with a little bit of short game yesterday, getting themselves on base, and I imagine they're going to go back to that tonight as well.
So with 2 outs, it's the top of the order. Legaspi at short, not in time to get Haas. That big hop played Jody, and she didn't have time to deliver over to first.
Well, the last ground ball that Legaspi got today earlier in the ball game, she charged. This one, she does the opposite. She stays back, and that long hop actually gives Tiffany Haas that extra step towards first base. A close play, and those little things. She's obviously good speed, and if you give her that extra little bit, it's going to be the difference between out and safe. And I like to think that if Jody Legaspi had charged a little bit more aggressively, that might have been a different call there.
First hit today off of Jelly. That's the 90th hit of the year for Tiffany Haas.
And the key really there is Jody Legaspi playing so deep against the right-handed hitters of Michigan. Part of the reason is because of their power. And to make up for that, she has got to be aggressive in coming in to get those balls because Michigan players do have some speed.
Giampaolo down to Dodd, handles it at first. Side is retired. We'll hear from Carol Hutchins and Michigan when we come back after this. 1-0 UCLA, the lead in the championship game as we move to the bottom of the third. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, we are with Coach Carol Hutchins from Michigan. And first of all, how do you see Jenny Ritter settling down after giving up that home run?
Well, you know, it happens, and she's just got to settle in and do her part, and her part's to contain their offense.
Angelica Selden, you've seen her now for the third game in a row. What are you noticing that you can enable your hitters to attack on?
Well, we are trying to, we're trying to take more pitches, and I think we've done a better job with that tonight. In that inning there with Grace getting the walk, and we're starting to make some good strikes. And we just really need to lay off that low in cut that she throws, and then she sets you up and throws it out. So we really just need to make her throw it over the plate better.
All right, thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you, Holly. Carol Hutchins and Michigan, a program that started in 1978. They've been here 7 times before and have come up short. And now into the championship game for the first time in school history, looking for that elusive title. They would be the first team ever from the Eastern time zone to win a national championship in a sport that has been dominated by the West Coast. And in particular, UCLA with the 10 NCAA titles.
Well, and Coach Hutchins talks about her team being more patient. And one big thing today that's been a little bit different from yesterday, Jelly Selden's only thrown 4 first pitch strikes to the Michigan hitters. Yesterday we saw them coming out swinging at the first pitch a lot more, and today they have been a little more patient.
And Duran sends one up the middle for the base hit. As Andrea leads off the bottom of the third inning. Second time tonight she's been on board to start out an inning.
That's a changeup by Jenny Ritter, and Andrea Duran stays back nicely and gets it just past Tiffany Haas out of second base and of the Bruin dugout. Happy to see their leadoff runner on base.
Duran down at first. Nobody out for the Bruins.
You have your 2-hitter in Tara Henry, and her job is to advance Duran. That's the one thing that she needs to do, is get top half of the ball. She wasn't able to do it in the first inning. She's got to come through here.
Well, the Wolverine defense in an obvious short game mode here. Of course, we know Tara Henry is known for that. Sacrifice bunt, a slap of some nature. The corner's pulled in. Jessica Merchant at shortstop, shallow as well, and a little bit playing up the middle, trying to cut off that hole.
The 1-0 to Henry. And it's popped up to Lutelli. Tara unable to advance the runner. 1 down.
Well, that's 2 missed sacrifice opportunities for Tara Henry. Andrea Duran got on that first inning with that hit by pitch, and those sacrifice situations are just, they have to be gimmies. I mean, bunting is a basic skill. It's, you know, it's a fairly easy thing to do with practice, and right now, in this game, you cannot sit on 1 run. UCLA needs to advance runners to second base, and that's a huge missed opportunity for the Bruins.
That'll bring up Caitlin Baney. Hit the home run last night in game 2 that gave the Bruins a 2-0 lead. Michigan came back to score 5 unanswered to even up the series.
And typically in a bunting situation, most pitchers throw rise balls, so there's no excuse for Tara Henry not to be expecting that pitch.
Duran will go. The throw out into center field. And I believe the home plate umpire has called Caitlin Baney out for interference in the batter's box. And Duran will have to go back to first. Tom Topping talking with Sue Enquist. Duran is already back over on the bag at first. And Baney just double checking. And it looks like she will have to head back to the dugout. 2 down.
Well, the batter is not allowed to get in the way of the catcher. And there you do see a pretty obvious attempt by Caitlin Baney to get in the way of Becky Marks. And there's a way to do that sort of, you know, maybe with a little savvy, but that really was a pretty obvious move there and a good call by home plate umpire.
The thing that kind of throws me off about that is the pitch was so far inside. Caitlin Baney trying to get out of the way. Does Rometter take him into the plate? if it was a hit and run or swing late on a steal, she would have been swinging on the pitch. So I don't know if that was something that was done intentionally by Caitlin Bainey. Obviously, with the ball coming at her, you know, trying to get out of the way, but
well, it's,
the umpire makes the call.
Well, it's one thing to get in the way a little bit, but she clearly is basically blocking her out. And I mean, we've all been almost hit by pitches. I don't think that to me was pretty obvious. And I mean, hey, give it a shot, see if it gets called.
So now, interesting on this decision, Carol Hutchins, the intentional walk to Zaplatosh the first time she came up. And now Emily stepping in again in a similar situation with 2 outs and Duran over at first. And she drills that one to center, and Jem Paulo is right there. So the interference call at home plate on Bainey takes the wind out of the sails of the UCLA Bruins. 3 complete. When we come back, we'll take a look back on the week that was here at the Women's College World Series.
Slide your feet, create the shock. Touch another, watch it pop. Live a little, live a lot. And show me everything you've got. Oh, jump on me, everything you got. I know you're scared, but it's time for you to stop. You gotta take that step in your heart, just let it make sound.
It's been a fantastic week here at the Women's College World Series. We started with 8 last Thursday, and we are down to just 2. It is Game 3 of the Women's College World Series Championship Series, and this one will decide it. UCLA winning Game 1 on Monday night. Michigan coming back last night to take Game 2. And now the Bruins are up 1-0 as we go to the top of the 4th inning. And it's the heart of the order for the Wolverines. 3, 4, and 5. Jessica Merchant, a strikeout victim in the first. Jelly Selden has 4 on the game. For Merchant and her classmate Nicole Motika, their 3rd trip here to the Women's College World Series. This is the farthest they've ever been, as the Wolverines are playing in the final for the first time ever.
And there's the first look at the Angelica Selden changeup. She thought that that was going to be something that was going to be key for her if she was going to survive through this game.
Duran has it at third, plenty of time, 1 down. Merchant is retired. That'll bring out Samantha Finlay in the 4 spot.
And really what that changeup does is it just takes a little bit of edge off of the Michigan hitter, so they can't be that aggressive when they get up to the plate. It'll allow them to get jammed a little bit more, be a little bit undecided when they get into the box.
For the senior class. This is a member of the freshman class that's hoping to help those seniors get a national championship. Finlay has had quite an impact, setting a new RBI single season record with 73, including 3 more here at the Women's College World Series. 65 miles an hour on that pitch from Selden. Finlay misses away.
And 65 miles an hour is equivalent to about 95 to 94 in Major League Baseball in terms of reaction time. By the time the ball leaves Jelly's hand and crosses the home plate, similar to a 95 mile an hour in baseball.
Finlay looking for the gap and gets by Henry to the wall. Samantha motors around headfirst into second base for the 1-out double. Let's send it down to John Buchagras with a Sports Center 30 at 30 update. Thank you, John. So with 1 out, a runner in scoring position for Michigan. And Nicole Motika, the senior who has struggled against Selden in this championship series, has struck out 7 times in a row.
Well, and that's what this Michigan offense creates, is just opportunity after opportunity. They left 7 runners on base last night, even though they scored 5 runs. So they're definitely a team that's getting people on. It's just a matter of those clutch hits. And right now would be such an opportune time for Nicole Motika to get her offense going.
Two 2-0 the count to Motika.
And thus far, the key for Angelica has been falling behind in the count. She did so to Finlay, and here she is 2-0 to Motika. She's got to continue to stay aggressive with that 1-run lead.
Foul. Chases Coach Hutchins out of the coach's box. We are in the top of the 4th inning of the championship game at the Women's College World Series. UCLA and Michigan. The Wolverines, the #1 seed. The Bruins are the 2-time defending national champions. From Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City, Beth Moen, Stacy Newman, Lisa Fernandez, and Holly Rowe. Bruins took game 1 Monday night. Michigan game 2 last night. It would be the first title ever for the Wolverines. UCLA has stockpiled 10 NCAA titles and are back looking for another.
And you can get this kind of confusion between a pitcher and a catcher whenever there's a runner at second base. The runners at second base tend to be looking in on the signals of the catcher, sometimes giving away location. So this will tend to throw off the rhythm between a pitcher and a catcher. That's why it's always important to advance runners, get people in that second base position, and it will create a little havoc between the pitcher and catcher communication.
Angelica's mother, Sylvia Conway, looking on.
Well, right now you get the sense that the Michigan team feels a little bit of sense of momentum shift here. You know, that big double by Finlay kind of gets things started, and that was the thing last night. With that home run from Becky Marks, it was almost like the shift was made, almost a complete 180, and suddenly Michigan had all kinds of energy, had all kinds of fire and confidence, and Angelica Selden's pitches started kind of going over the heart of the plate, and they started taking advantage. And it almost feels like a little similar to what happened last night, that big hit now, and again with Nicole Motika up to bat, a challenge for her to get something going for the offense.
Her senior classmate Jessica Merchant had a big hit last night. Motika looking to deliver tonight. Chopper foul. 2-2. Let's take a look at the Diet Coke game track. Here's where we stand here in this national championship game. Finlay a double this inning out at second base with 1 out. Jelly Selden has 4 strikeouts for UCLA. The difference right now, the Lisa Dodd solo home run in the 2nd inning. And Motika strikes out again, 2 down.
Just a big pitch there by Angelica Selden. That was something that Sue Inquist was concerned with her freshman, was can she put out the fire when it starts getting hot? In previous games, she has not been able to do so, but here you can see going down and in to Motika and being able to get the K.
Half of Michigan's runs this year have been scored with 2 outs, and it's Grace Lutelli in the 6 hole. Has driven in 49 this year. For a strike, 1-1.
And you really got to like the demeanor thus far that Angelica Selden has shown. She's been focused. She made a huge comeback, being 2-0 there to Motika and being able to come back and get the strikeout. In a situation like that with less than 2 outs, if you can't get the K, worst case scenario, you want that ball hit to the left side of the infield, but she was able to come out with the big strikeout.
Lutelli, a .450 hitter on the season with runners in scoring position for Michigan. A team that has scored over 400 runs this year, averaging about 6 a game. They were not shut out the entire regular season. They were shut out twice in a 24-hour period on Monday. And losses to Tennessee and UCLA.
Well, you just get a sense that these Michigan hitters are early on all of Angelica Seldon's pitches. Maybe it's the emergence of that changeup today having to be a little more honest, but that's what would make that changeup more effective right now, is if you're swinging fast, if you're coming out really aggressive offensively, that's as a pitcher when you want to bring out your off-speed pitches and try to throw them off balance.
Good eye from Lutelli. 2-2 the count with 2 outs. The tying run down at second base. 52% of the runs scored by the Wolverines with 2 outs this year.
And they've done a lot of scoring with 2 outs in the Women's College World Series, so they've carried that tradition over to this tournament.
Including all 3 in a win over DePaul here. Lutelli just got a piece of it.
And Lutelli continues to do a great job of just fighting that pitch off. That is the go-to of Angelica Seldon, and she's doing a great job of keeping herself in this count.
Finlay with the double down at second base. 2 hits for the Wolverines tonight off of Seldon. Again, Lutelli just getting enough of it.
When the longer an at-bat wears on, the more it starts to favor the hitter. You realize we've seen some long at-bats throughout this tournament yesterday, and Emily Zapatosh got in a couple herself, and the more pitches a pitcher has to throw, the more pitches a batter gets to see and get their timing and release points and all that. So definitely an offensive advantage.
Duran with the coverage at third, over to Dodd in time. 1 hit, 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 1-0 Bruins. 1-0 UCLA with the lead over Michigan. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
When UCLA coach Sue Enquist came to UCLA as a player back in the mid-70s, there was a legendary coach on the hardwood, John Wooden. Over the years, Coach Enquist has cultivated a relationship with John Wooden, going to him for advice on how to discipline a star player in years past. And this year, she took her entire team out to his Encino home to meet the legendary coach. She says it has been an invaluable resource to her team. He talked to the players about what it means to be a champion. Sue Enquist continues to use all the UCLA ties to go for an 11th national championship tonight.
And there have been plenty of titles in the history of UCLA team sports. They've won 10 NCAA titles, 11 overall. One of those was an AIAW championship, so she's matched and even surpassed Coach Wooden in terms of the national championships she's been a part of. Of course, he had 10 with the men's basketball team, but you hear a lot of the coaches at UCLA rely on Coach Wooden and have used him as a mentor. Did you have the pleasure of meeting him during your time there?
I was able to meet him at a basketball game, but he's just an incredible presence. And the way he is so accessible to the UCLA athletes, he's at every men's basketball games. He communicates with all the athletes whenever he's called upon, and he's just been a presence and just exemplifies what UCLA is all about.
Legaspi right back up the middle. Jody with her first hit of the night. For the 3rd time, the leadoff hitter is on board for the Bruins. ESPN and ESPN2's coverage of the Road to Omaha and College Baseball Super Regional starts up Friday afternoon at 1 Eastern on ESPN. It's 3rd-ranked Nebraska and Miami. And then Friday afternoon at 4 Eastern on ESPN2, it's 2nd-ranked Georgia Tech taking on Tennessee. The Road to Omaha Super Regionals Friday on ESPN and ESPN2. Tulane is the top seed in the tournament this year. The ACC strong with 4 teams in. The Big 12, SEC, and Pac-10 all with 3 each. And Cal State Fullerton looking to defend the title. They are still in it. And Alyssa Eno is on the pinch run.
And it happens to be Alyssa Eno's 21st birthday today. So a big day for her. Wouldn't be a bad way to go out with a national championship on your big 2-1.
Number 6 in the order is Kristen Deadman, who lays down the bunt. The tag made by Finlay. But the sacrifice successful as Eno heads over to second.
And that's a tough play as a defensive player when you have someone of the size of Deadman and her power capabilities to be in a sacrifice situation. The last thing you want to do as a corner is come in, but that's what you have to do. You know it's a sacrifice situation. The game is on the line. Finlay does a great job of not even needing to throw the ball, making the play on her own. That's a smart play by Finlay, and of course you can see the reaction by Deadman, the fact that she was able to do her job, and that could prove critical in a game like this when Michigan is as potent as they are offensively.
Averaging 6 runs a game on the season, so the 1-run lead, a tenuous one right now for the Bruins. Krista Colburn, who grounded out to third base in the second inning. And now Carol Hutchins will head out to talk with Jenny Ritter.
I think right now the discussion is just making sure that her senior pitcher is where she wants her to be. I think physically she does seem a little bit more sluggish today. Her pitches don't have quite the same movement, quite the same angles that she was getting in those first 2 contests. And no doubt Coach Hutchins is going to go with Jenny Ritter as long as humanly possible until it's evident she doesn't have anything left. But I think as a coach, you have to continually check in periodically, make sure that she's really where you want her to be mentally and of course physically. A lot of it you can tell with the pitches and what she's throwing.
So with 1 out and a runner down at second, it's Krista Colburn. 4 hits at this Women's College World Series, including the game-winning RBI in their victory against Cal in their first-round matchup.
And this is a key situation right here for the Bruins. Ritter has to be aggressive going after Colburn, knowing that Dodd is on deck, the player that hit the home run off of her in the earlier bat. This is a key situation where Krista Colburn needs to take advantage of the pitches that she's going to get.
On the outside corner for the strike, 1-1. Remember, UCLA led yesterday 2-0. Michigan came back with a big 4-run 5th inning to grab the lead, their first lead of the series. Colburn off the glove of Ritter. Haas at second base, in time at first. 2 down as Eno scoots over to third.
Well, that's a nice job of Jenny Ritter playing her position effectively, getting a glove on that ball. If she doesn't knock that down, that's going to be a play at home for sure. And Tiffany Haas, of course, there to make the secondary play. But again, she doesn't take some pace off of that. That's going to center field. And right now, the Michigan outfielder's playing pretty darn deep. So that very well could have, if not would have been, a run for UCLA.
So here comes Lisa Dodd, who hit the home run in the second inning. The difference in the ball game right now, her 7th of the season. Just a 200 hitter during the regular season, but has come up clutch in the postseason for the Bruins.
And Dodd has had a beat on Ritter throughout her at bat. She may not have gotten the payoff other than the home run that she had in her last one, but she has been seeing Ritter's ball very well. It wouldn't surprise me if Ritter was maybe throwing around Deadman, preparing for Herrera.
She has had a run batted in each of the 3 games in the series. This was the doozy. Knew it was gone all the way over Million and the left field fence. Two-0 pitch to Dodd. Ritter stays away.
Well, that's 3 straight curveballs way off the plate. So like you said, Lisa, maybe one of those kind of free passes, see if maybe they'll get Dodd to chase something. But right now she's staying pretty patient, and they're going to try to go after Herrera on deck.
They pitch very carefully to Lisa Dodd. She is on board now. Runners on first and third with 2 outs, and it will be the number 9 hitter, Ashley Herrera. Herrera has one hit in the World Series, and that's a homer.
And this is where Ashley Herrera now has to take advantage of this position that she's in. Runners at the corners, but she has Andrea Duran on deck, who has hit the ball well in this game thus far. And so once again, Ritter is put in a situation where she has got to attack these hitters, or this hitter specifically in this situation.
High and tight to Herrera, 1-0.
And that's what Ashley Herrera needs to do. She needs to be patient. She knows that she is going to see the pitches. She just needs to stay in her zone and make sure that she doesn't fish for anything outside of the strike zone. Ritter has got to come to her.
Jenny does not have a strikeout yet tonight. After tossing 413 over the course of the year coming in, averaging about 10 a game.
Well, with this first and third situation for UCLA, the question might be, are they going to try any kind of a steal or any kind of defensive, create some defensive havoc? And normally with 2 outs, you're not going to take that risk, because in that, of course, then all Becky Marks has to do is throw it down and get Dodd stealing second, and the inning's over. So not normally. Sometimes you might see a little hit and run or something in this situation, but chances are with 2 outs, they're going to play it pretty straight up.
1-2 now to Herrera.
Ritter, averaging 10 strikeouts on the season, hasn't had one against the Bruins. Part of it may be the fatigue of Ritter. Part of it could be the adjustments that the UCLA Bruins have made. Being a 3-game series, they've seen each other.
Herrera, that one will drift out of play, foul down the left field, or the right field line.
As Stacy had talked about earlier, the more a hitter sees a pitcher, the advantage goes to the hitter. That is unless you have a pitcher that can throw more than one sequence of pitching. And that is one thing that Jenny Ritter credits to what's been able to make her successful this year, is the fact that she disciplined herself and dedicated herself to being effective on all planes.
Merchant has it at short. She'll touch the bag for the 3rd out of the inning. A hit, a walk, and a couple left on. 1-0 UCLA through 4.
And shove on me everything you got. I know you're scared, but it's time for you to start. You gotta take that step in your heart, just let it make sound. Yeah,
Show Me Everything You Got by Rocket Summer, bringing us back here to Oklahoma City. 1-0 UCLA as we move to the top of the 5th. The Lisa Dodd home run, the difference so far. Michigan looking for its first ever national championship. This is their first trip to the final in their 8th appearance at the Women's College World Series. And for the Bruins, dominance over the last several decades. They are looking to match the three-peat that they pulled off in 88, 89, and 90. They have 10 NCAA titles. Bainey with the diving play at second to get the out. What a job by Bainey. The full extension.
Just an unbelievable play there by Caitlin Bainey, going to her backhand side. That's the kind of play you have to have if you're going to win championships. And to see her be able to leave her feet, Bearclaw gets a great hold of it. But Bainey is able to pick herself up, make the throw off her knees. Just a great job there by Caitlin Bainey.
Marks down to Duran. 2 away. Here's the Bainey layout.
Well, that's a base hit that Bainey clearly takes away from Burkaw. And again, to win a championship right now, that would have been a huge momentum shift, a chance for Michigan to get on with that leadoff batter. So big out, and obviously a web gem for Bainey.
We have seen some terrific plays in this championship series. The play by Herrera in game 1, robbing Giampaolo of a home run, quickly jumps to mind. Crashing into the fence out in left field.
There's actually a couple home runs that were taken away in this tournament. I know Caitlin Lowe for Arizona took away a home run earlier in the tournament, so there's been some good defense played, and of course we talked about some bad defense as well. It's been a little bit of both. And again, right now for Michigan, they're hoping that UCLA will crack at some point. We know they have offense, but until you get base runners on, it's difficult to really get things started.
Both these games, game 1 and game 2, came down to one big inning, and it was late in the game, in the 5th or 6th inning, that decided the first 2 games of this series.
And Stacy, you know how important momentum is, and that play that Bainey just made could be the difference in this ball game. Momentum is something that is so critical to keep a team in this game. As the game gets later, the pressure starts to mount, and any kind of opportunity that you get where you can see some light, you thrive on that. And there you can see Bainey just shut that door.
Inside the million. Full count now to Rebecca with 2 outs. Slap to Dodd, Bainey over to cover, in time. 3 up and 3 down in the top of the 5th. Bainey with the defensive effort. We'll get to know Caitlin Bainey better when we come back after this. One nothing UCLA. Caitlin Bainey did it with the bat last night, and now the glove tonight. Let's get to know Caitlin Bainey.
My name's Caitlin Bainey. I'm a junior second baseman. I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona. One thing you may not know about me is I like to knit, and I like to chew bazooka gum during the game. My favorite TV show is SportsCenter, and my favorite personality is Harold Reynolds.
And playing second base, just like Harold used to. The second team All-American this year, 2 national championships already in her career.
There you can see the great play again by Caitlin Bainey, diving to her backhand side. The key thing is she was able to get herself up and make the throw from her knees. Very strong throw and a great stretch by Lisa Dodd.
She hit a home run last night in game 2 for the Bruins. She's due up 3rd in the inning. It's the top of the order. UCLA has had its leadoff hitter on base in 3 of the first 4 innings. They have left 5 on base. And the difference right now is Lisa Dodd touching all 4 in one trip. The solo home run in the 2nd inning off of Jenny Ritter.
The Bruins cannot get complacent. They need to continue to put the pressure on this Michigan team. 1 run is not going to be enough, as was evident in the past games.
Well, one thing when you look at the last 2 games for UCLA, they're getting on the board, but they're really not getting a lot of hits. Today, 3 hits so far, only 1 run. The first 2 games, 4 hits apiece. So it's not that they're just clubbing up Jenny Ritter, but they're getting those timely hits. And that's what it comes down to. When a runner on scoring position, you push one through the infield. That's all you need to do.
Duran is on base for the 3rd time tonight. At the Women's College World Series, it's the championship game, Michigan and UCLA. The top-seeded Wolverines trailing the 2-time defending national champs 1-0. Beth Moen, Stacy Newman, Lisa Fernandez, and Holly Rowe. This is game 3 of the best of 3 championship series. Michigan looking for its first title tonight. UCLA wants to grab NCAA championship number 11. And Henry, who has been unsuccessful in 2 previous attempts to lay down the sacrifice, drops that one foul.
And here you can see, instead of going down with the sacrifice bunt, which Henry has not been able to do the 2 previous at-bats, she decides to do a running slap. She has got to get the ball down and give Duran an opportunity to get into scoring position for Bainey and Zapatash, who follow.
just what you want your leadoff hitter to do. Get on base and wreak some havoc.
Well, and then of course standing on deck is Caitlin Bainey, so very capable hitter. And that's the importance of getting that leadoff runner on base. With no outs, you can really afford to give away that sacrifice for that first out. When you have one out, it makes it a little more difficult because now you put a runner on second base and you've got only one opportunity. When you can get that first base runner on base, now offensively, you can just do a lot of different things. It's not a one and done for the offense and have lots of shots.
That one misses high and away. 2-1 now the count to Henry.
And Henry thus far has been doing a great job of being selective. In her previous at-bat, she tried to sacrifice bunt the first pitches that were rise balls that she saw, forcing her to pop up. Here you can see Ritter's going with the same game plan, but Henry is being disciplined, and that's the point, or that's the most important thing when you're trying to do your job, to put down the bunt.
Henry to Lutelli at third. Scooped up by Finlay for the out, but this time Henry moves the runner over, and here comes Caitlin Bainey, and here comes Holly Rowe.
Caitlin Bainey has a terrific knack for making the most of key situations. You saw her with the great defensive play earlier. But when she was in high school, she was on the same team with Emily Zaplatosh. In fact, they've been on the same team since they were 8 years old. That particular day, UCLA was in town looking at Emily Zaplatosh as they needed a catcher. Bainey got up to the plate, hit a double, and caught the attention of Sue Inquist. As a result, she now has a scholarship at UCLA and 2 national championships. So the friendship between Emily Zaplatosh and Caitlin Bainey, they have proved terrific off the field and even more productive on the field.
I mean, talk about being at the right place at the right time. Both Sue Inquist and Caitlin Bainey. I mean, of course, Caitlin Bainey benefiting from the opportunity to play at UCLA and win a couple, maybe a third here tonight. But Coach Inquist, that's a great find and a very lucky find.
0-1 to Bainey. Handcuffed her. Merchant back out onto the outfield grass. 2 down. If you're looking for a complete list of national statistical leaders in every NCAA sport, go to ncaasports.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. And there's a future catcher for UCLA and future Wolverine as well. Hard to choose sides in this one. The tradition of the Bruins and the East Coast and the Midwest love for Michigan, looking to bring the first ever national championship back across the Mississippi River. And for the second time tonight, Carol Hutchins will decide to walk Zaplatosh to pitch to Legaspi.
And if you're Jody Legaspi, this has to pump you up. Anytime the batter in front of you is being thrown around to get to you, it should pump you up. I think a lot of times you'll see batters actually, though, it works to the advantage of the defense, and you see hitters get a little too big, try to swing too hard. And that's the challenge. You challenge young players, make them stay within themselves and stay calm and relaxed, even though they've really been put to the test here.
The intentional walk to Zaplatosh in the first inning. Legaspi came up and lined out to third to end the inning. So now her second chance to make Michigan pay.
And this is a great situation for Legaspi to be in because she knows that Ritter has to come too. She's not going to walk Legaspi to get to Dedmon and load the bases. She's going to come right at Legaspi, so she knows, Legaspi being the hitter, that she's going to get good pitches.
And again, the pop-up in the infield, and Merchant takes it. Michigan gets out of the inning, but they're still down by 1.
Michigan was #1 this season
because we all trust each other.
We have great team chemistry.
We're really glued together.
Because we don't care that we're #1.
Because we believe in each other more than any team does.
And all have the same long-term goal. And that's to win a national championship.
#1 for the first time ever, and down 1 as we move to the top of the 6th in this championship game at the Women's College World Series. And for the Michigan Wolverines, looking for their first softball national championship. They've been here on 7 previous occasions and come up short. This is the best year in school history. And this is their moment with 2 innings to play, and the top of the order coming up against Jelly Selden and the 10-time NCAA champion UCLA Bruins, who are looking for the three-peat. And the chopper over Duran's head, and Haas is on board, her second hit of the night.
Well, first pitch thrown by Jelly Selden here in the top of the 6th, and Tiffany Haas swinging from the start. Michigan just trying to get aggressive here in the later innings.
Let's take a look now at the Diet Coke game track. In our championship game, Ritter without any strikeouts. Finlay, the double in the 4th, has been their best hit so far for Michigan. Selden has 5 strikeouts, and the game now hinging on that Lisa Dodd solo home run in the 2nd inning. A 200 hitter during the year, but Dodd has come up big in the postseason, and her biggest hit of the year earlier tonight. Alessandra Giampaolo, an infield pop-up and a ground out back to first base. This is freshman versus freshman right here. 2 of the top young talents in the country.
Now this also a sacrifice situation. We show the UCLA defense, or excuse me, rather the Michigan defense in this situation. But with the lefty up, the defense changes. Jody Legaspi now shifts over the 5-6 hole. Caitlin Beatty playing up the middle will be covering second on any kind of force play, and Lisa Dodd is going to have to be able to come up and play a bunt or get back to her base for a throw.
Count now 3-0 to the Michigan freshman, Alessandra Giampaolo.
And this is where Angelica Selden has to settle down. She's had issues with this in the past of not being able to maintain her composure when things start happening and the other team starts getting momentum. She needs to put a stop to this. Giampaolo is trying to sacrifice. Let her put the bunt down and just get the out.
Selden will take her time. She has completed every game that she has started this year for UCLA. She has been through some rough patches. Sue Enquist says she's been tested, has seen it all. She's loved the way that her youngster has bounced back from the difficult times that she feels has prepared her for this moment tonight. And the walk on 4 pitches to Giampaolo, and the go-ahead run is on board. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Alessandra Giampaolo takes the base on balls, and for good reason. She's very used to seeing the pitches of Angelica Selden. These 2 freshmen actually played on the same 18 and under team last year. They've been teammates on the California Cougars for the last 2 seasons. I talked to Alessandra before the game. I said, is it weird facing Angelica, your former teammate? She said, it is really weird, but it helps me because I know her pitches. That's helped her get to base here, being a former teammate of Angelica Selden.
Well, actually, that's very common at this level. You'll see a lot of these players having played together through the years, and a lot of times playing against each other, high school rivals, played on rival travel ball teams. And of course, when you get to this level, it's depending on who's in your uniform, same uniform as you, is who you're rooting for.
So 2 on with nobody out. Michigan down by 1 to UCLA. And Jessica Merchant, who delivered a big blow last night with a 2-run double to give the Wolverines the lead. With the bases loaded, she brought around a couple on this drive into the gap. That made it 4-2. They went on to win it 5-2. A discussion in the circle for UCLA.
Well, that's 5 straight balls thrown by Jelly Selden. Kelly Inouye Perez again heads out there to just discuss and also do a little check-in with her pitcher, her young freshman again. What a situation to be in the circle. The pressure's on, as Coach Enquist would say, in the pressure cooker. Michigan has a lot of momentum, and right now she's having trouble finding the strike zone.
UCLA has staved off elimination 5 times already during this NCAA tournament. And when we asked Jelly about the difficult moments, she said it really taught me how much of a fighter I am and how badly I want to wear the Bruin uniform and throw for UCLA in big games. Merchant through the left side. Michigan will hold up the runner Haas at third, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Well, that's just aggressive hitting, aggressive offense for Michigan. We watched Angelica Selden throw 5 straight balls, a timeout in the circle, and then the first pitch, that flip drop, and she's able to drive it by Andrea Duran in left field, and there's Coach Hutch smartly keeping Haas at home, because that ball got out to Herrera pretty quickly. Would have been a tough chance to get in there, but of course the senior pumped up. She's feeling it right now, and as are the rest of her teammates.
The tying run now 60 feet away, and the conference in the circle is more than just first base and pitcher. That's also backup pitcher Lisa Dodd. So there really isn't anywhere else to turn right now for UCLA in terms of getting somebody warm in the bullpen. They will go with Selden with the bases loaded and nobody out, and Samantha Finlay, the freshman, will step in. Samantha, 1 for 2 tonight, the double in the 4th inning. A new single-season RBI record was 73. Selden's numbers, 41 starts, 41 complete. Stays away at 65 miles an hour, 1-1.
When you look at that 41 starts, 41 complete games for Jelly Selden, and that just means that Coach Enquist has left her in when the pressure's gotten on. She's learned from those mistakes, and now is when the lessons are being put to test.
Lays off, 2-1.
And this is a hitter that this Michigan team wants up at the plate. On the other hand, the defense of UCLA is looking to turn the double play. Home to first is what they're trying to get out of this inning.
7 hits for Finlay is the most in the Women's College World Series. And she's got another one. Michigan will tie it up. And the bases are still loaded with nobody out as Haas comes in to score. The 3rd hit of the inning for the Wolverines. RBI number 74 for the rookie.
When Michigan just doing it with singles, a curveball in the outside corner, and Finlay, great piece of hitting opposite field, right through that UCLA defense that's playing really shallow, and once again, Coach Hutch holds up Jim Paulo at third base, so the bases remain juiced.
Michigan looking for more. Nicole Motika, who has been struck out 7 times in a row by Selden. And the senior looking for some revenge. Her 3rd trip to this Women's College World Series. Plenty of heartache in the first 2 trips. Jelly ahead 0-2.
And the thing that proved costly in this inning was the walk to Giampaolo. That was the key in this game thus far in starting this inning for this Michigan team.
Missed low. Nobody out with Giampaolo at third. Merchant at second. Finlay over at first. 3 hits and a walk in the inning. Right at Durant, who applies the tag to Giampaolo for the double play. Oh, what a job by Durant at third.
What a play by Andrea Duran. Nicole Maltica right on that ball, and Giampaolo just can't get back in time. Almost a chance for a triple play. That's a huge, huge double play for UCLA. And the key for Michigan is to not let that deter them, to keep on and keep using the momentum to go forward in this inning.
So now 2 outs with 2 on. And it's Grace Lutelli. Andrea Duran with the reaction at third.
And really just a heads-up play of knowing exactly where her runners were at to immediately go over there and dive after Giampaolo. I mean, that's just a great job by Andrea Duran to help Selden get out of this inning.
Maltica's thinking, oh man, I cannot catch a break in this series. As she hits into the double play.
And one thing we talked about earlier in this game is Jelly Selden needing to throw that changeup, and the hitters of Michigan have continued to stay on her.
Lutelli foul down the third base line. Lutelli caught looking as Selden gets the big strikeout. And Jelly works out of the jam, but the Michigan Wolverines tie it up. Andrea Duran with the big play at third to keep it that way. RBI single for Samantha Finlay ties it up in the top of the 6th for Michigan. But some tremendous defense tonight by UCLA, not allowing Michigan to get too far away.
And that's what's kept them in the ball game. Here you can see Bainey with the backhanded play up the middle, getting the out at first. And then this may be the game breaker, the decision makers, the line drive there to Andrea Duran with the awareness to be able to make that play and tagging the runner Giampaolo out at first. At third.
That was with the bases loaded and nobody out. And then Selden came right back with a strikeout to end the inning. 6, 7, and 8 coming up now for UCLA, and Dedman pops up to Merchant at short, 1 down. At the bottom of the hour, we will be sending you to a Sports Center 30 at 30 update. The sun is now set beyond the bleachers here at Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City. Saving this one for posterity. History this weekend here at the Women's College World Series. For the first time in tournament history, it is a best-of-3 championship series. And we are into game 3 to decide it all. UCLA won game 1, 5-0 on Monday. Michigan came back from a 2-run deficit to win game 2, 5-2 last night. Colburn with a couple of ground outs. That one just wide of the line down the right field side.
Well, this is the first year for this 3-game series, postseason format at the Women's College World Series. And a lot of questions as people were asking prior to this is how is this going to impact the game? And to me, this has had all the excitement and the drama that a championship series should have or could ask for. UCLA comes out, big win. game 1, Michigan a comeback win in game 2, and now we're deadlocked at 1. I mean, I don't know that we could ask for any more of an exciting event than this.
Would have been a shame to have missed out on the last 2 nights, games 2 and 3. Another terrific turnout here in Oklahoma City. Plenty of good softball all week long. It's been a World Series dominated by pitching. 14 different times we've seen a pitching performance of 10 strikeouts or more. And that is the first strikeout of the night for Jenny Ritter. ESPN and ESPN2's coverage of the Road to Omaha and college baseball Super Regionals continues on Friday night. It's a Sunshine State showdown with Florida State and number 7 Florida, Friday night, 7 Eastern on ESPN. And we'll follow it up with ESPN2 at 10 Eastern, Arizona State and the defending national champs from Cal State Fullerton. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. 2 outs, and it's the home run hitter, Lisa Dodd. The dinger coming in the 2nd inning. Lisa walked in the 4th. Dodd reaches for that one away. Working on that right shoulder, as we've seen throughout this Women's College World Series, trying to stay loose. Selden has thrown every pitch, every inning for the Bruins.
And on the follow-through of a fast pitch softball pitcher, that's the first part that will get sore, would be that bicipital tendon where it attaches up there in the shoulder. That's just because of the overuse part.
Called strike 2 to Dodd.
But right now, it definitely seems like Jenny Ritter has responded to her team's offensive production. She's coming out throwing strikes, getting ahead of the UCLA hitters. And she talked about it last night after that comeback win, that when her offense gets going, it does create a spark in her gut and gets her going as well.
Dodd lifts that one into the gap, and Rebecca Million over to make the catch. 3 up and 3 down. The Michigan Bats coming back around. It's all for the right to say you are number 1. To be the last team standing when all is said and done. UCLA and Michigan going to the bottom for the 7th inning here in the championship game of the Women's College World Series. Michigan looking for its first title ever. The Bruins looking for their 3rd in a row. And we are all tied up at 1 apiece. UCLA's coming on a Lisa Dodd home run in the 2nd. Michigan scoring on a Samantha Finlay run-scoring single in the 6th. And as we move to the final inning, it's 7, 8, and 9 coming up for the Wolverines and Stephanie Burkhaw. Slow roller down to Duran, that's fair. 1 away. Here's what we're looking at. Michigan without a championship. UCLA's got 10 NCAA titles. Wolverines have come up empty 7 previous trips here. With 1 down, that'll bring up Becky Marks. Marks launched the 2-run home run last night in game 2. Wasn't even in a Michigan jersey last year. She transferred from Illinois, Chicago. Felt she had done all she could at a smaller school, wanted the challenge of playing in the Big Ten and playing for a national championship. Wasn't even sure if she would have a scholarship to come to Michigan. It was up in the air all summer long. And she showed up for class, worked her way onto the team and into the starting lineup. She's calling the pitches this year in her first season and had the hit of her life last night. As she mouths the words, which she always does to herself, "I can do this." And she steps into the batter's box. Takes a look at strike 2. Foul down the third baseline.
Well, Lisa, you've talked several times about the use of that changeup and how important it is, and Michigan being aggressive, and this is when that changeup can really come into effect. But Selden hasn't seemed to be throwing it much, and so the Michigan hitters accordingly are taking their hacks.
The handle on that one over the head of Zaplatosh. It's 2-2. And Sue Enquist passing on to Andrea Duran, her third baseman, say, hey, have Jelly step back, take a deep breath after that last pitch. 2-2 to Marks, again foul. This the final at-bat in regulation for Michigan. Coming up in the bottom of the 7th for UCLA, it would be Ashley Herrera in the 9 spot and then the top of the order. And Selden gets the strikeout. 2 down. Let's send it now to John Buchagras with a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update. Thank you, John. That'll bring up Rebecca Million in the 9 spot. She has grounded out to Lisa Dodd on both of her trips to the plate tonight. Michigan looking for the rally on 2, or else they're going to have to hope for extra innings. Chopper from Million, and she's on board. Could not have been executed any better.
No, that's just slapping perfection. To be able to take a full cut and deaden the ball that effectively, that bunt, or slap rather, dropped into what I call sort of no man's land, right in the middle of all 4 defensive players. And that's a talent, to be able to do that. Again, a miss hit purposely, and a single, infield single for Rebecca Million.
Selden did not want any part of that play. We've seen her struggle with her throws over to first base on occasion in this Women's College World Series. And Duran, with the better angle, trying to cut across in front at third. So it's the top of the order now coming up with 2 outs. And Tiffany Haas out to Colburn, and right side is retired. UCLA a chance to win their 3rd in a row here in the bottom of the 7th. The 2005 Women's College World Series championship game coming down to the bottom of the 7th inning. And UCLA with a chance to win it. We are all tied up at 1 apiece. Carol Hutchins' club coming in ranked number 1 in the country, the top seed, looking for their first NCAA title in their 8th trip in the last 11 years. And for UCLA, trying to match the three-peat of the Bruin clubs in 88, 89, and 90, they are in search of their 11th NCAA championship. Ashley Herrera in the 9 spot. And in foul territory with Million hard charging. And then it would be the top of the order for the Bruins.
Well, both UCLA and Michigan, assuming it gets back to Michigan, are in the place in their lineup they want to be. Tiffany Haas just made the last out for Michigan in their half of the inning. So if it does get back to that 8th inning, right now both squads are in a good position to put something on the board here.
And UCLA has not been able to take advantage of their game plan. They're wanting the ball to be thrown inside to them, and that's exactly what Ritter's been doing, and they haven't been able to capitalize.
Right down the pike, 0-2.
And that's a good change up there by Jenny Ritter, keeping these hitters off balance, and maybe that's what allowed that inside pitch or her screwball to be so effective with these Bruin hitters, is in the back of their mind, they know Ritter is throwing that changeup.
Lisa Dodd home run in the 2nd inning, giving UCLA the lead. Michigan coming back on a Samantha Finlay RBI single in the top of the 6th. Our scoring tonight. Herrera, opposite field. And Haas can't hang on in foul territory.
And that could prove very costly. You never like to see that happen. When you're a pitcher and these outs are tough to come by, you want your defense to take full advantage of being able to make those plays, and that's a play that Tiffany Haas should be able to come up with.
Well, Tiffany Haas is a quick runner. She's absolutely in position to make the play, but the ball just pops out of her glove.
Herrera to Burkhoff. Out in right center, 1 down. Lisa Dodd back in the 2nd inning, a solo home run to give UCLA the 1-0 lead. And then in the 6th inning, Samantha Finlay, the freshman, delivers opposite field. That tied it at 1-1. Looking for more damage, Andrea Duran with the sparkling double play with the bases loaded and nobody out. And that got UCLA out of a jam. Pop up to Lutelli, 2 down.
When Jenny Ritter is just consistently throwing it in on the hands of the UCLA hitters, sawing them off, getting those jam jobs, and we've seen a lot of pop-ups in the infield, some flyouts to the outfield, and Jenny Ritter again sticking with her game plan. It's been working up to this point.
Sue Enquist will insert a pinch hitter to face Ritter. 79 pitches on the night in 6 2/3 work. 1 strikeout, 3 walks. And she will face Danielle Peterson. Comes on to hit for Tara Henry.
Peterson has been a great tool for Enquist to have coming off the bench, someone that she can rely on to come up in these key pinch hit situations. A very patient hitter, someone that sees a lot of pitches, and that's what makes her so good. She's been able to come through for these Bruins in this role.
Peterson's 1 RBI on 2 hits during the season came in the Super Regionals to help UCLA get to this Women's College World Series. 1-1 the count.
Well, and the key for Jenny Ritter right here is to throw right at Peterson. Anytime you have a pinch hitter coming in, they're cold off the bench, and they're just trying to see pitches. So, you know, I think the mindset defensively is to throw strikes, force her to swing her bat. If you throw a lot of pitches around the zone, it's going to give her a better chance to get a read on you.
Peterson fouls that one away, and we are now 1 strike away from going into extra innings to decide the national championship. Peterson won't reach for it. 2-2 now, the count with 2 down. Caitlin Bainey hoping to get up to the plate. She had a home run last night. Chance for one of these Bruins to be a hero in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, anytime you have someone like Caitlin Bainey standing on deck, again, it comes back to attacking the hitter at the plate with 2 outs. This is the hitter you want, Danielle Peterson. You do not want to go to Caitlin Bainey with anybody on base.
Peterson, that one's deep down the left field line and foul. Danielle almost ended it with one swing.
Great job by Peterson. Taking a hack at the screwball thrown by Ritter. The one thing though Ritter knows is all that is just a long strike. And this is a perfect time for either Ritter to come with that changeup or look to go curve. And there you can see Ritter with the changeup, and she wasn't able to convert. That was the pitch that Ritter wanted to get Peterson out on. She did not want to go 3-2 with Caitlin Bainey on deck.
And she gets Peterson to pop up. Haas at second. We are going to extra innings to decide the national championship in Oklahoma City. Show me everything you got by Rocket Summer. We've seen everything that Michigan and UCLA have gotten through 7 innings here in Game 3, and it's still not enough to determine the national championship. Game 1 going to the Bruins on Monday night, 5-zip, behind a 5-run 6th inning. Game 2, Michigan trailed 2-0, but rallied to win it 5-2. And here we are in Game 3, UCLA going for an 11th NCAA title. Michigan looking for its first ever. It's 2, 3, and 4 in the order. And Zaplatosh wisely lets that one bounce foul. This is the 5th extra inning game in this Women's College World Series. And for several of these Bruins, including Zaplatosh and Bainey, they won the 2003 national championship in extra innings. That one went 9. Toria Awelua drove in the winning run, and Kira Garrell pitched a no-hitter for UCLA in their win against Cal. And that one will squirt right up the middle. Jim Paulo on board.
Once again, Giampaolo showing bunt and then standing in, actually hitting away, which is a little unique for her. Normally she slaps, but that time just stays in there and punches one up the middle. The Michigan dugout, again, feeling that excitement, sensing a little rally here.
And this is going to be interesting for the University of Michigan. The situation calls for the bunt. Try and get that runner into an RBI situation, but they have been known to be a hitting team. And we will see what Coach Hutchin calls in this play.
Merchant swinging away and pops it up. Ashley Herrera out and left. 1 down. They have relied on their power game all year, and they continue to go that way instead of opting for the sack.
And that is a huge out right there for UCLA. That was something that Michigan had struggled with earlier in the tournament, not being able to put their bunts down or being able to move their runners. And talking to their coaching staff, they said part of that was the success they had this year and winning 50-some-odd games and only losing 2. They were never, ever called upon to play the short game, and they've struggled.
So now it's Finlay who delivered the RBI single to tie it up in the 6th.
And that play right there can prove costly for this Michigan team, especially knowing what lineup UCLA has coming up. They have to take advantage of this opportunity.
Bruins will be bringing up 3, 4, and 5 in the order. Herrera, 2 down.
That's 2 Michigan batters with a runner on first base and 2 pop-ups. And we saw this a couple nights ago in that loss to Tennessee, that extra inning game, that they were going for broke, swinging away. The swings got bigger, the swings got harder, and the success thus went down. And now in these kind of games, you want to shorten up and not get too big. That's the challenge for Michigan right here.
The Michigan coaching staff had talked about the lack of sacrifice bunts or advancing of runners is not their game plan in terms of a coaching staff. They believe in putting down the bunts and moving the runners. It's the personnel that doesn't allow them to do that. Those players feel more comfortable in swinging their sticks than putting bunts down.
And Motika, who has had some tough luck against Selden. The best hit of the series she had, unfortunately, was right at Andrea Duran for that spectacular double play that got the Bruins out of a big jam in the 6th inning.
Well, looking back on that, that ball gets by. We're talking a couple runs. I mean, that would have been all the way in the corner. So
we're headed home.
Yeah, no doubt.
Saved the Bruins and prevented Michigan from winning the championship in all likelihood.
Well, in the UCLA outfield right now, playing with their backs against the fence, and the idea with that is to cut off all the angles. They do not want a ball to get to the fence and have any opportunity for Jim Polo to score from first base.
1-2 to Motika. Selden has had her number throughout this championship series. Just enough of it to stay alive.
Well, as a hitter, when you're going 0 for 7 against a pitcher, it all comes down to the mental relaxation and just trying to get yourself back to the basics. We know Nicole Motika is a great hitter. She's proved it this year. Great numbers on the season. And sometimes a pitcher or a certain scenario can get in your head and you start kind of working yourself into a little bit of a frenzy. And right now for Nicole Motika, she just has to go back to what's gotten her to this point. One pitch at a time, see it, hit it, whatever it might be, whatever her mental talk is. She's very capable, and she'd of course like to break out of that slump in this situation.
Pop back foul. Nicole Motika, the senior from Sarasota, Florida. Gave one up for the team earlier this year, coming back from an injury, a former All-American pitcher. She and Coach Hutch decided she would be better served, and the team would be better served by concentrating on her play at the plate. To Bainey at second. Over to first, side is retired. Caitlin Bainey will lead things off for UCLA. She had the blast last night. If she can match it next, it's all over. UCLA Bruins with a chance to win their 3rd consecutive national championship as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Extra innings to decide who takes home the trophy.
One and we're done. One and we go.
We are all even at 1 apiece, Michigan and UCLA. And it is the best buddies from Scottsdale, Arizona, friends from the age of 8 years old, as Holly Rowe reported earlier. Caitlin Bainey will start things off. Emily Zaplatosh on deck. Bainey, her 14th home run of the year last night against Michigan.
And for UCLA, this is where you want to be in your lineup. You want to go to your go-tos, and this is Caitlin Bainey and Emily Zaplatosh.
Oh, 0-1, the count to Caitlin. Grounded out to second base, was called for that interference play, and then popped it up to short. Changeup is in for a strike, 0-2.
First pitch, Ritter throws high and tight, a little bit inside, and then she busts that changeup. Again, I think that changeup has been so key to keeping her in this game in this number of innings that she's thrown this weekend.
That one's in the dirt at 65 miles an hour. With a big strikeout. Let's check in with Holly Rote.
Well, keep in mind that Michigan catcher Becky Marks is in her first year with the team, and she is calling the pitchers for Jennifer Ritter. But right now, what she's doing is on the side of her leg before every pitch, she's flashing the sign to assistant coach Jen Brundage on the side just to do a check with me and make sure she's calling the right pitch in this critical situation in extra innings. Maybe not a bad idea for the first-year player for Michigan.
Actually, the signals are coming from Jen Brundage. She's the one responsible for calling Jennifer Ritter's game. What will happen is that Marks will look over to Brundage, check to make sure they're on the same page, and relay the message to Ritter in the circle. But you can see Jennifer Brundage with the chart that she has in her hand. She is keeping track of every single one of these UCLA hitters, and not just what they've done in this game, but what they've done in the games previous to competing against them. And you can see her right there covering the signals, and as soon as play gets set, she will flash down a sequence.
She is a former UCLA Bruin, won a national championship in '92. And for the second time tonight, Ritter will pitch to Zaplatosh. They have intentionally walked her twice.
And that was the pitch that right there Emily Zaplatosh wishes she had back. That was a miss by Jenny Ritter in a zone where Emily Zaplatosh could have made her pay.
Zaplatosh will step out.
Well, going back to the pitch calling, both UCLA and Michigan have their assistant coaches calling the game from the dugout. It's sort of a coaching philosophy. Some coaches feel that having the information right in front of them helps them make a better decision.
And I think overall, coaches would like the ability for those catchers behind the plate to call the game, but a lot of it is determined by what knowledge the catcher has coming into this collegiate season. Many of them at a young age are told what pitches to throw and never really learn what the game is all about.
2-2 to Zaplatosh, and Merchant has it at short, 2 down. Here at the Women's College World Series, we're in the bottom of the 8th inning to decide the national championship, going extra. And Jody Legaspi, who has come up a couple of times tonight after Zaplatosh was intentionally walked. Michigan wanted to get to her instead. She was not able to deliver on both of those occasions for UCLA, but she does have a single. They're now trying to start the rally on 2. Fouled back and out of play, 0-1.
Well, it does seem that Jenny Ritter's pitches are starting to hang a little bit, and UCLA just missing on their swings. And, you know, you give a credit to Jenny Ritter. She's finding a way to get them out, but definitely seems to have a little fatigue, taking some deep breaths before each pitch and trying to mentally stay focused when maybe her legs are starting to tire.
0-2. Won't go out after it. Wolverines trying to stay alive for a 9th inning. Baseball Tonight will be coming up next here on ESPN. Legaspi works it to 2-2. Misplaced foul down the left field line. We are in the 8th inning at the Women's College World Series championship game. Michigan and UCLA all tied up at 1 apiece from Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City. Beth Mowens, Stacy Newman, Lisa Fernandez, and Holly Rowe. Reminder, the baseball tonight is coming up next. And the changeup for the strikeout. Michigan stays alive in its hopes to win their first ever national championship. Wolverines coming up when we head to the 9th after this.
And show me everything you got. I know you're scared, but it's time for you to start. You gotta take that step in your heart, just let it make sound.
Show Me Everything You Got by Rocket Summer. Here at the Women's College World Series, a Dodd home run in the 2nd, a Finlay RBI single in the 6th. We're all tied up at 1 apiece as the Michigan Wolverines looking for their first ever NCAA softball championship up against the powerhouse from Westwood, UCLA. 10 NCAA titles. They are looking to match the three-peat that they pulled off in 88, 89, and 90. This is the 5th championship game to go to extra innings. The last one was 2 years ago. UCLA beating Cal on a Kira Garrell no-hitter in 9. Bruins came back last year and went back-to-back. And now looking for the three-peat. Baseball tonight is on deck here on ESPN. Grace Lutelli, it's 6, 7, and 8 in the order for Michigan. Another pitching duel tonight. Tremendous performances out of Jelly Selden and Jenny Ritter. Michigan fans hoping that they can head home with that first national championship. They are the top seed. A team from the East Coast, from the Midwest, has never won the title. They've been all on the West Coast. Oklahoma and Texas A&M also have won championships, but nobody from east of the Mississippi. This is the first time ever that a team from the Eastern time zone has played for the national championship.
Well, interestingly, you see Grace Lutelli coming up here, the leadoff batter trying to bunt, yet when they had opportunities to advance runners, they swung away. So looks like they may be trying to go back to that short game a little bit and trying to create some kind of offense.
This is a team that far and away led the rest of the field in home runs this year. With 102, they've got a couple of them here at the Women's College World Series. To Lutelli. Goes fishing outside. Selden with another strikeout. That is her 8th. Stephanie Burkhoff. Monday afternoon in an elimination game against Tennessee, the game-winning home run, a 2-run shot in the 4th inning as Michigan hung on to win 3-2 to advance to the championship series. And here we are in the best of game 3, extra innings to decide the championship.
Michigan now trying a new approach. They have their right-handed players showing slap as they've done throughout the game, basically to have a better view of Jelly and to shorten their swings. But they're now coming around and bunting and trying to get on. A lot of that is due to the struggles that Selden has had in the circle.
Popped up to Dodd at first. 2 down.
Well, and going back to last night, Coach Hutchins kind of said it without saying that they were going to try to attack the defensive shakiness of Angelica Selden, and so far she hasn't had a single play back to her up the middle. So whether or not that game plan changed or the Wolverines just have not been able to execute it, we really don't know that. But definitely they have not put that overhand throw to test, and it looks like maybe in these later innings they're going to possibly go to that, see if they can make something happen.
Becky Marks has struck out a couple of times, grounded out to Duran at third tonight, hit the home run last night.
And it's always kind of scary a bit when you know you've got a team with home run capability, which is what style of ball both these teams play. Michigan more known so for the long ball. They led the nation with over 100 on the year. Have the hitters, same thing on UCLA's side. These two teams are both power teams.
One-on-one, the count to Becky Marks.
You know, you really can't take a breather through either one of these lineups, and that puts a lot of strain on that pitcher. When the game continues to go extra innings, it becomes more of an issue. They know that one swing can be the difference.
This has been the breakthrough season for Michigan, their best ever. They were 2-14 at the World Series in 7 previous trips. Now advancing to the championship game to take on UCLA, trying to bring home the title for the first time. Carol Hutchins has been there through it all in 21 years. As Holly Rowe reported, they got well wishes from the football staff, Lloyd Carr and his crew. Earlier today, sending the fax out. There's only been one other women's national championship team, the field hockey team, a few years back. And there's the letter from Lloyd Carr and the football staff. As Holly reported, it's hanging down in the dugout on the bulletin board for Michigan.
The title beat UCLA. You can't get any more succinct than that.
It's a conspiracy to play Hail to the Victors as many times as they possibly can in Ann Arbor. 2-2 with 2 outs here on the ninth. Tight.
And that's actually a great pitch there by Angelica Selden, being able to continue to get inside on Marks, looking to set up the way. Angelica went with a rise ball that goes up and in. And now this has got to be the go-to pitch right here.
And Selden wins that battle. Gets the strikeout number 9 on the night. Lisa Dodd, the home run hitter from the second inning, is due up third. She gave the Bruins the lead earlier tonight with the long ball. Who knows the way to the national championship? 3 games over 3 days and we're still not there. Who can get their team to the national championship? Michigan or UCLA? We're getting closer. Extra innings and still not there. The bottom of the ninth and another opportunity for the Bruins to grab the trophy and take it home for the 3rd year in a row. A Dodd home run in the second, a Finlay RBI single in the 6th, and another brilliant performance in the circle from UCLA's Jelly Selden and Michigan's Jenny Ritter. 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Kristen Dedman. She was the hero last year, delivering the game-winning hit for the national championship.
Well, to me right now, the team that's going to win this ball game is the team that can keep attacking. It seems like both Michigan and UCLA in a little bit of a lull, kind of waiting for something to ignite them. And right now, the team that comes out, gets aggressive, gets making that push themselves, is the team that's going to win this game.
Ripped foul and on a play by Dedman. Jelly staying loose over there, trying to stay out of the way of those foul balls from Dedman.
Actually, I think that's what it is. There's been a lot of close calls over there in the Bruin dugout, and definitely don't want to take any chances on their pitcher.
There's a whole UCLA thing going on with their helmets in that dugout, so they're putting on the rally caps.
Dedman out to center, Hard charging, and it will fall in front of Giampaolo. Dedmon looking for two, and she gets there. And the game winner is in scoring position for UCLA. Just the second hit of the Women's College World Series for Dedmon.
And you have got to tip your hat off there to Dedmon, who takes advantage of the play made by Giampaolo. You can see her getting out of the box. Once she sees the misplay in the outfield, she is going too. And that is just a great job by Dedmon there. Great base running, putting herself in scoring position for this Bruin team.
That's just a situation of being smarter. She might not be the fastest runner. Well, she's certainly not the fastest runner for UCLA, but being smart. And when you see the ball squirt away from the defensive player, you have to make those aggressive moves. I just finished talking about the team that's attacking is the team that's going to win. UCLA strikes first. Now it's up to Michigan to go ahead and stop the bleeding and try to get out of this inning.
She'll be lifted for the pinch runner, Jason Krebs. That's the national championship run now, out there on second base with nobody out in the bottom of the ninth.
And that base running by Dedmon, you don't expect that. And there's a lot of players, because of her size or maybe lack of speed, as Stacy said, it was the smarts that she had, being able to read the play. That's going to be the difference in this game.
Reminder here on ESPN, coming up next, baseball tonight. After the conclusion of our national championship softball game here at the Women's College World Series. 105 pitches now on the evening for Jenny Ritter. Has to keep that Krebs run from coming around.
And this is a critical part right here for Krista Colburn to do her job. Look to get Krebs over to third base with less than 2 outs and give your hitter and Dodd a chance to get her home on a sac fly.
One and 0 the count.
We talked about Ritter going to that rise ball in those sack situations, trying to force the bunter to pop the ball up. That's what pitchers have a tendency to do in order to force that pop-up. Colburn, as a bunter, has to be disciplined in getting a pitch that she can put down and get top half. The angle that she wants to take is she wants to try to bunt the ball directly up the middle towards Ritter. The corners are crashing. They're looking to try and cut down the runner at third base.
Colburn takes a look at a strike, 1-1. Back-to-back national championships in 88, 89, and 90. They have won the last 2 and are looking for a 3rd in a row. That is the only three-peat in the 23-year history of this tournament.
Well, the Michigan defense is going for broke on this sacrifice situation. When Colburn squared around a bunt, Lutelli and Finlay were right down her throat. They are certainly trying to knock everything down.
They'll make the play over to first to get the out. And now the winning run is 60 feet away.
And that's a great job there by Krista Colburn. Knowing that the corners were crashing, she took the ball up the middle, making the play. The only option for that Michigan defense was to get one.
And here comes Lisa Dodd.
Here you can see Colburn squaring, barrel out in front, taking the ball up the middle. Even though it was hit hard, it was hit in the right direction. And you can see Krebs is ready to score.
Dodd hit the home run back in the 2nd inning, walked in the 4th, flew out to left in the 6th.
This is an interesting call right here for the Michigan team. Do they put Dodd on, knowing that the run that matters is Krebs at third base? On the flip side, could there be a squeeze? Are we looking for just a sacrifice fly?
1-0.
Well, and every player on this ball field right now has their adrenaline pumping on full throttle. And so for the Michigan defense, Dodd puts the ball in play. You have to make the defensive plays, the routine ones as well as the spectacular ones. She's just trying to put something in play, whether it's a sac fly, a ground ball, try to poke it through the infield. The defense, one play at a time, just get outs.
Michigan has to get the play at the plate. just missed away. 2-0 to Dodd.
And great job by Dodd being patient, not sure if Ritter is throwing to her, and this is where you have to be selective. You are going to get more than one pitch in this at-bat. And Ritter wants no part of Lisa Dodd, and Lisa Dodd has done a great job as a batter not to play into the hands of Michigan and to stay disciplined. Michigan is going to go after Ashley Herrera.
And so it will be Ashley Herrera, the number 9 hitter, with 1 hit so far in the Women's College World Series.
Well, all that Michigan's trying to do right now is get force plays around the infield. It's not that they obviously don't think that Herrera is capable, but they want to make a force play at second now, if possible, maybe a double play. I wouldn't even be entirely shocked. Well, I don't think they're going to throw around Herrera. They're going to challenge Herrera, but on deck is Andrea Duran. So if they could get out of this inning somehow, some way without having to face her, that would be optimal.
Herrera fouls that one out of play.
The plan right now is for Michigan to go after Ashley Herrera. If Ashley Herrera cannot get it done, they're going to walk Duran, and they're going to take their chances with Tara Henry, who has already been pitch hit for in this game. This is the hitter that Michigan has to get if they're going to come out of this alive.
One and one to Ashley Herrera. Krebs is the game winner at third base. Dodd after the walk, over at first. Bottom of the 9th for the national championship. Herrera looks at strike 2.
That's a great pitch right there by Ritter. Changeup, an intense situation, dangerous to throw though. When you have a runner at third and less than 1 out, the squeeze play could always be called. Dangerous pitch, but an aggressive one on Ritter's part.
Enquist thought that one was a little out of the zone. But Ritter in front here.
And with 2 strikes, Ashley Herrera has to choke up and focus on putting the ball in play and forcing this defense to work.
Pops it up in foul territory. And Lutelli will run out of room.
Well, going back to what you said, Lisa, about throwing at Herrera, if they do face Duran, putting her on base, it's that game-old, the age-old saying of you don't let the best players on a team beat you. You force someone, an unexpected player, a lesser batting average type player, someone that you wouldn't expect to come through and get those big hits. You don't want Andrea Duran to be the one to get it done.
Herrera infield. Haas can take it for the 2nd out.
And that is a huge missed opportunity right there on the UCLA part. Tip your hat to Ritter. She was able to thus far do the job as planned. We will see how they approach Duran here, the leadoff hitter for UCLA.
She has 2 hits off of Ritter tonight.
And it looks like they are going to put her on base. You see Coach Hutchins telling Samantha Finlay to move up. And basically that's, in case the ball does get by, you've got extra defensive players to sort of help if there was to be a play at the plate.
In the leadoff spot for the Bruins tonight. Singled in the 3rd and in the 5th innings. And a chance to win it for UCLA. And Michigan's going to take the bat out of her hands, put Duran on. It is a strategy that has worked all night for Michigan. They've done it now. This will be the 4th occasion, and the Bruins have not been able to burn them yet.
And there you can see Coach Inquist saying, I'm going with you, to Tara Henry, who's on deck. You wonder, you question a little bit the use of Danielle Peterson in that situation with 2 outs when she was used to pinch hit for with Tara Henry earlier in the game. Could have been used here in this situation. Sue Inquist is going to go with her number 2 hitter.
The sophomore from Orange, California, whose parents are both UCLA grads. Her older brother Sean, a UCLA grad. Another brother, Rory, still at UCLA. It's all in the family, and the bases are loaded.
Actually, the Henry brothers are 2 of the 4 horsemen, and there they are, cheering their sister on, hoping she can get it done for the Bruins.
The one downfall with Tara Henry going at this as a running slapper is there's now any base that these players can go to. If there is a miss hit in front of home plate where normally Tara would be able to beat it out as a running slapper, they now can easily make the play at home. So this is a tough situation for the Bruin offense to be in. Tara's got to step up and look to drive the ball through the infield.
0-2 to Henry.
And obviously Jenny Ritter going right at Henry. No choices, bases are juiced, and she's thrown 2 back-to-back screwballs on the outside corner. Henry moving towards first base. Tough pitch for her to make that adjustment on.
Slap to Lutelli. She'll make the play over to first in time to record the out. And the Bruins, with the bases loaded, cannot get the game winner across. And Michigan stays alive for the 10th inning. Will it be the junior Jenny Ritter keeping Michigan in it and working out of the jam in the 9th, or will it be the freshman for just the 2nd time ever leading her team to the national championship? Jenny Ritter and Jelly Selden again. Spectacular performances as we go to the 10th inning. Extra time to decide the national championship. And Ritter in her 9 innings has allowed 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, 5 walks. Selden in her 9 innings has given up 7 hits and struck out 9.
And really those stats are very comparable when you think that a few of those walks that Ritter has issued have been intentional. So these 2 pitchers are going head to head, and they are definitely playing with a lot of heart and a lot of guts right now.
It's 9 and in the top of the order coming up for Michigan. Rebecca Million grounded to first in the 3rd and 5th innings, and then singled in that chop slap in the infield in the 7th. Michigan's run coming across in the 6th inning on a Samantha Finlay RBI single. UCLA struck back in the 2nd on the Lisa Dodd solo home run. The Bruins had the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th, and Michigan worked out of it.
And that's difficult for a pitcher to come in thinking your team is going to score in the bottom half of your inning, thinking that you're not going to have to go back out there, and they're not able to get it done. And this is where Jelly has to stay strong and be focused. You can't ride the roller coaster of your offense. As a pitcher, you have to be able to separate. Even myself, when I hit as well as pitch, I have to be able to separate my offense from my defense and know that my job when I'm in the circle is preventing the other team from scoring.
Million lays it down, Dodd covering, and Bainey over to first, 1 down.
Great job by Lisa Dodd to come up and make that play. They are protecting Angelica Selden because of the issues that she's had in the circle, and thus far the corners for UCLA have done a great job of taking care of that.
Reminder coming up next on ESPN, it will be baseball tonight. And after the completion of the Women's College World Series, Michigan and UCLA in extra innings to decide the national championship. Tiffany Haas now in the top of the order. Haas singled in the 6th and scored on the Finlay RBI single. This is where Michigan has to get it done. They have 6 of the 7 hits tonight at the top of the order off of Selden.
And the Michigan coaches had talked about their bottom half of the order needing to come through if this team was going to be able to win. And as you can see from the graphic, they are not able to do so thus far.
Oh, 0-2 to Haas. That one's in the dirt. 1-2. Jelly's mom, Sylvia Conway. Looking on as she has been throughout this Women's College World Series. Legaspi off her glove and out to center. 1 on with 1 out at the bottom of the hour. We've got John Buchagras with a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update. Thank you, John. 1 on and 1 out for Michigan. The error by Legaspi, and now it's Alessandra Giampaolo looking to slap her way on. That one's foul.
We talk about mistakes and how costly they can prove, and here the door has been opened for Michigan with the mistake by Jody Legaspi. They have got to be able to come back as a team, and especially Jelly in the circle has to continue to stay ahead of these hitters to close this door.
Well, early in this tournament, both UCLA and Michigan taking advantage of mistakes by the other team in their respective wins. So you have to see if this will come back to haunt UCLA.
Michigan's big 6th inning in game 1 was after an error and a couple of hit batters. And for Michigan in game 2, their big inning came off of an error. In the 5th, when they scored 4 times. How about the composure of the freshman?
She never seems to really get flustered, and yeah, what's going on inside her stomach, we don't know, but as far as from the outside, she is unbelievable at holding it all in.
Tremendous poise under this kind of pressure. Giampaolo down to Legaspi. She'll make the throw over to first, not in time. Giampaolo legs it out. The infield hit for Alessandra, her 2nd of the night. And now Michigan with the go-ahead run in scoring position.
And Legaspi has gotten caught playing deep on more than one occasion. This is another time or instance where she's allowed an infield hit to occur simply by being in the wrong position, especially with the speed that Giampaolo has. She has got to be able to come up, play in front of the baseline, and make that play.
And the reaction from the coach and the dugout for Michigan. Looking for the lead here in the top of the 10th with 1 out and 2 on board, and it's senior Jessica Merchant. Michigan looking for its first ever softball national championship. Disappointment and frustration on 7 previous trips here, including last season when they were knocked out in a 2 barbecue. Gone early. Appearing for the first time ever in the final. and trying to prevent the UCLA three-peat.
And this is not the part of the Michigan order that you want to face. It is their 3-4 hitters, with Merchant being the senior and Finlay being the one that's hot on deck.
First pitch to Merchant.
And right now, Jessica Merchant stepping up to the plate. The heart and soul of this Michigan team. And if any player to get it done right now, Coach Hutch talks about Merchant being, of all the players she's had in her years at Michigan, the player that has meant the most to the program and loved Michigan softball more than any other. Bleeds maize and blue. And again, I think right now, if you could write a storybook inning for Michigan, this would be the player to get it done.
Homegrown talent from Wayland, Michigan. An All-American, one of the best that has ever put on the uniform. Delivered the big hit yesterday to give Michigan the lead. And ultimately went on to win game 2 and force this third and deciding game. Tried to drop down the bunt. Goes foul behind Zaplatosh.
And that's an interesting move right there by Merchant. That's not something you would expect out of your go-to player with the potential winning run at second base to want your go-to to put down a sneaky bunt. Now, if that's something that the coaching staff called, that's one thing, but questionable call if you're the player.
Because they let her hit away with an opportunity to lay down a sacrifice on previous occasions.
I think that was just her trying to get herself on base. The UCLA corners are playing baseball defense behind third and first respectively, and I think she's just trying to get herself on.
That one deep, drifting foul and out of play down the left field line.
And there could be times when you do see the corners playing back and you are a 3, 4, 5 hitter. There's nothing wrong with faking a sneaky bunt, trying to draw them in and letting the pitch go. The only thing that's questionable about that call is if she pops it up. Now she becomes an easy out, and now you've got 2 outs when you could have had one of your best hitters up at the plate.
1-2 to Merchant. And Selden gets the strikeout. 2 down. 10th of the night for Jelly.
That's just a big out right there for the freshman Angelica Selden to be able to come back and throw this curveball where it needed to be thrown. You can see that Merchant was ahead of it, but it was a good location by Angelica Selden, forcing Merchant to protect because she was behind in the count.
So now it's up to the freshman Finlay, who has driven in the lone Michigan run tonight. Hard hit, but foul.
Now right here, I would think that Angelica Selden is going to pitch very carefully to Finlay, knowing that she's got Motika on deck, so someone that has not been as successful as Finlay has. You do not want to give it to Finlay because Finlay is aggressive. She could potentially swing herself out of this at bat.
Finlay leads the World Series in hits and RBIs. 2 on board for Michigan with 2 outs. The Wolverines have never been here before, looking for their first ever softball national championship. Never as a team from the Eastern Time Zone won the title and taken it back across the Mississippi River. And Finlay launches that one deep and gone! And the freshman delivers the 3-run home run for Michigan.
What more can you say about the freshman Samantha Finlay? all 4 RBI today, and just has been hot from start to finish in this tournament. She was taking pitches effectively, and finally she waits for that miss. And that rise ball does not get in, does not get up, and she is all over that. Unbelievable 3-run bomb for Samantha Finlay.
They have been relying on it all year. It has carried them into this Women's College World Series, and the home run ball comes up big here in the top of the 10th inning. UCLA down 3, going for the three-peat. One last opportunity to tie it up, and they're in a big hole. Thanks to the freshman, Samantha Finlay, going deep. It's 4-1 Wolverines. Moments ago in the top of the 10th inning, the 3-run home run from freshman Samantha Finlay. She has driven in all 4 Michigan runs tonight, and the Wolverines are on top, 4-1. The last chance for UCLA, or Michigan will take home the national championship for the first time in school history. And we have seen the Wolverines issue the intentional walks tonight. UCLA chose not to do it to Finlay. And now they are 2 outs away from the national championship. Bainey is retired, and Zaplatosh will come up next.
And that's what this Michigan team is known for, being able to swing their sticks, and Finlay has done a great job of displaying that. Not only getting the first RBI of the game with a base hit to right field, but then going ahead and getting the 3-run bomb to left. Just an all-around great performance by Finlay, and able to hit the ball to both fields.
0-1 to Emily Zaplatosh. She's been walked a couple of times tonight. For the Wolverines, a first ever national championship. They've been ranked #1 since the midway point in the season for the first time in school history. Coming in as the top seed. No school east of the Mississippi has ever won the softball national championship. It would be the second title ever for a women's program in Ann Arbor. Just missed away. 1-2 to Zaplatosh.
Well, Coach Hutchins tonight, in terms of strategy and managing her game, was on her A game, and I think right now the reason Michigan's sitting in this position is she played smart, she threw to the right batters for UCLA.
Lutelli, and it's through the wickets. And a base runner with 1 out. Well, the error by UCLA got things started in the top half of the inning. And now won by Michigan.
Zaplatosh reaches out for that outside pitch, and Lutelli just can't hang on. So now a little bit of life is breathed into this UCLA squad.
Going to bring on a pinch runner for Zaplatosh.
And all you can ask for from this UCLA team is give themselves the opportunity to get the tying run to the plate. Jody Legaspi has to find a way to get on base. Try and get that tying run to the plate and at least be able to have an opportunity to tie this game up.
Shanna Stewart, the pinch runner, on for Zaplatosh. Emily can re-enter. Legaspi singled back in the 4th. 1 for 4 tonight against Ritter.
Well, the other thing, Jenny Ritter going right at these hitters, throwing strikes right off the bat, and she's going to let her defense play ball. Unfortunately, Grace Lutelli can't hang on. We'd be 1 out away from the game being over, but she's not trying to be fancy, and she's just putting it over the plate, trying to, as best she can, hit the corners, but make her defense work.
The Finlay 3-run home run in the top of the 10th, the 103rd of the season for Michigan, giving them the cushion. 2 strikes on Legaspi. They faced elimination on Monday. Lost to Tennessee at 1:20 in the morning local time. Had to come back Monday afternoon. Beat Tennessee on a home run. Lost game 1 of the championship series to the Bruins on Monday night. Bounced back yesterday to even the series, and now 2 outs away from the program's first ever national championship.
Well, this is a team that's just fought the entire year. Again, you even look at the scoreboard tonight. UCLA got on the board in the 2nd inning, came back in the 6th to tie it up, and they have never said die. And that's something Coach Hutchins has really been so proud of her team all year long, and it's no better time to do it than now.
Legaspi strikes out. And Coach Hutch is 1 out away from that title.
I think that might be the first time we've seen Hutchins smile all night. That was a big strikeout, a screwball, and everybody in the dugout knows they're ever so close to finishing this game out.
Jenny Ritter's going to be a lot of folks' heroes back in Ann Arbor if they can record 1 more out for the title and knock off the 2-time defending national champs, Kristen Dedman.
And that's a great pitch right there with Ritter, with the intensity as high as is, with the home run capability that Dedman has. She pulls the string and throws the change. It's a great pitch to keep the momentum on her side.
Inside the Dedman, 1-1. Michigan preparing for this national championship all season. They knew they were loaded coming back this year after a disappointing end in the World Series last season. And this will do it. Merchant at short records the final out. And for the first time in school history, the Michigan Wolverines are the national champions. And her club gets their first title after 7 previous trips of coming up short. A gutsy pitching performance from Jenny Ritter throughout, and freshman Samantha Finlay driving in all 4 runs tonight, including the game winners on a 3-run blast in the top of the 10th inning. And the Bruins come up short in their bid for the three-peat.
Well, as you mentioned, a gutsy performance by Jenny Ritter. And as she watches intently that final out, the sense of relief knowing that all that work and all those innings result in a national championship.
And you just got to tip your hat off to these Michigan players. Finlay, the freshman, being able to come through. Ritter, the junior. That's what it takes if you're going to be able to get it done, is coming through when it matters most. And this Michigan team had the fight.
Let's take a look at the Pontiac game-changing performance in the top of the 10th inning. A tie score with 2 on. Samantha Finlay. UCLA elected to pitch to her, and she sends it out. That gave the Wolverines the 4-1 lead, and that's the way it ended. Let's check in now with Holly Rowe down on the field.
Coach Hutchins, your team set the goal from the first day of fall practice to win the national championship. What's it like to see these ladies do it?
I am so proud of my group and for every kid who's ever worn the maize and blue. This is for all of them. They're all here with us. They're all watching now. This is for all of them. My kids just were outstanding all year, and they never gave up. They were gutsy. Jenny Ritter was gutsy. They were awesome. We're awesome.
Samantha Finlay, you're just a freshman. You drove in all 4 runs tonight. How did you have the composure at the plate?
You know what? It wasn't me, it was my whole team. And you know what? I don't think we would have made it here without the whole team, with Ritter pitching and the defense. I mean, the offense comes around, but it was the defense, and it was the team, and it was the coaches. It was all of us together.
Jenny Ritter, you were just terrific in the circle. How did you get the composure? Bases loaded at the bottom of the 9th, but you kept fighting. How was that able to happen?
I just gave it all I got. My team said leave it all out on the field. My coach said have the guts out there, and my defense was behind me to back me up.
Well, the first national championship ever for the Michigan Wolverines. And Coach, what does it feel like to finally get that first one?
It's just, I don't know if you can ever describe it, but to be honest, whether we got this or not, my kids have just been the most invested team. They have played for Michigan. They've won for Michigan. They believed in Michigan. It's really all about that. They made it come true, but it's about that. It's not about the championship, but I'll tell you what, it feels good.
Well, the first ever championship for the East. Way to represent the East Coast, ladies.
Thank you.
Jenny Ritter.
Thanks a lot, Holly. And the championship trophy will find a home in Ann Arbor. A tough way to go out for UCLA, but everybody will be back next year for the Bruins. Michigan will lose just Motika and Merchant. And what a moment for Michigan, the first ever national championship for the Wolverines. 4-2 the final here at the Women's College World Series. A reminder coming up next, it's Sports Center. And the Michigan Wolverines 4-1 over UCLA to win the national championship. And it will head back to Ann Arbor. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Stacy Newman, Lisa Fernandez, and Holly Rowe, I'm Beth Mowens. Good night from Oklahoma City. Ritter celebrating the final out after the Finlay 3-run home run to win it in the 10th.